gonna stand together and fight this disease.
I've come this way before, traveled through the open door, circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes, you see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know my time. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a play for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games to play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. Telling you the truth, hey. It's only what you do, hey. Some things you gotta do, hey. It's like the millions, take a second, see the blessing in it. With much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to the children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let us see your brilliance. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it to life. Oh, for the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm A6. Learn and develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah.
Give back, give love, giving something away. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going back soon and fight this final round. Life's a play for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Can't take it personal.
Cause the devil is a lie, hey. I'm telling you the truth, hey. All in what you do, hey. Some things you gotta do, hey. Hey, barbershop conversations, man. Welcome to the show. Hey, what is this? The after party, baby? What is this? The after party? I know we still on our Gucci. It's Gucci. What up, Charmaine? What's up, DB? Oh, love is the word is on third base. Love is the word. What's up, Chris Ray? David the Real Thomas, DB, Opulent. What's up, ER? What's up, Opulent, man? Tyrell, man. What's up, Aunt Fresh? I know you, Jeezy. I know Gucci, yeah. Hey, call in and talk about it. We got a great guest, man. He gonna take us to a place we've never been intellectually, man. I'm thoroughly excited. What's up, Aunt Fresh Gump? 24 Jeezy. You got that? You got it for 24. You paid too much, big homie. Yo, what's up, Mike Weary, the Great Valiant? Corey, what's up, TB, man? What's up? I don't know what they go for, man. What they go for in 2020? I ain't never bought one, but I've been around it. You know what I mean? What's up, TB? What up, Kenneth Wallace, man? I appreciate everybody coming in here, man. And yeah, man, we got a lot to cover, man. We can go Errol, Spence. Donney Rose is man. I'm excited. I'm excited, and we can go talk Jeezy. We can go anywhere you want, man. We got a poet, community activist, man, editor, man, all the above, man. Whatever title you want to help us better, this man possesses it, man. Without further ado, man, welcome to the show, Donney, man.
What's going on, brother Frederick? How are you?
How you feel, man? It's great to have you in here, man. Shockwave came to the pre-party. He said a lot of us died and was kept enslaved by guys like Bud. Oh, you talking about? Are you a boxing fan?
I used to be back in the day. I don't follow too much currently,
Hmm.
but definitely was on the Iron Mike wave back in the 80s. You know what
Okay,
I mean?
okay. So
Hmm.
you're excited for him to step back in there. He fights next Saturday.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. He looks to be in he looks to be in fighting shape, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. Did you watch Jeezy and Gucci?
Yeah, I peeped about I would say a little bit more than half of it.
Uh,
I watched a good bit of it.
what was your take on it?
It was wild. It was wild. Uh, for me, I did appreciate, it was definitely tense,
Hmm.
and that was obvious.
Hmm.
And I did appreciate when Jeezy just kind of stepped back and was like, "Yo, um, you know, you agreed to do this. We said we were going to do this. Um, we're doing this for the culture." You
Yeah,
know, um, because it was very obvious that there was still a lot of underlying tension because
yeah.
those guys had like real street beef for like years.
Like,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? And so Gucci came with smoke in mind. You know what I mean? He came like with the I'm gonna throw shots. I'm a dish you or whatever. And Jeezy's kind of been on a different path the last few years.
he has.
And so I feel like he came to the verses with a certain level of like calm and maturity,
Mhm.
and was just like, you know, I'm not gonna take it there. Like we can go song for song, but
Yeah.
I'm not about to like wallow in the mud with you.
Mm.
And like they had probably the highest viewership of any verses. At one point, it was like 1.8 million people on
Wow.
Instagram. Yeah, and so, but the thing is, like people love a train wreck. So
Uh-huh.
you had 1.8 million people on Instagram hoping that something popped off
Mm.
outside of music. And
Gotcha.
so I thought it was a pretty big moment when Jeezy just kind of deflected and was like, "Look, we can go record for record, but what we're not about to do is whatever extra, whatever extra that some of these people may be signed on here for." And it changed the course of the rest of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they got to the end, they shared the song "So Icy" at the end, and Gucci was like, "Man, thanks for extending the olive branch. It's
Yeah.
all love." You know what I mean? And so it really was a pivotal moment when Jeezy was like, "Yeah, I'm not about to be with this BS." You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I definitely felt that. the
Yeah.
the moment for me was when you got to bring when Gucci said you got to bring Floyd in here, man. We got to have an ice competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jeezy was like, man, let's have a real estate versus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like Jesus kind of slightly on a different wavelength right now.
Right.
Because like he hosts a show on Fox Soul. Like he did that like the night before.
Mhm.
What was interesting was at the beginning of the battle, if you saw Stacey Abrams came on
Mhm.
and pretty much introduced and thanked them for just their visibility in the community and encouraged them to like really get their folks behind this Georgia Senate race.
Mhm.
And you could tell immediately that Jeezy was more engaged, like
Mhm.
on a political level,
Mhm.
because he like the way that he responded to her was very much like, "I got you, sis." And Gucci was like, "Can you get my man's out of jail?"
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And she was like, "Well, if I would not have been cheated out of the governor's race, maybe that could be possible."
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, so it was just they were on kind of two different wavelengths, but fortunately it ended on a high note.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up because it appears that you were in favor of Stacey Abrams coming. I know she's a Georgian, but
Yeah.
you actually like the presence of politics in that realm.
I thought that it was a good use of platform on
Mhm.
her end because like the thing about it is, so when you're talking about Jeezy and Gucci in particular, so Jeezy is slightly more, maybe a hair more mainstream than Gucci,
Mhm.
but both of these cats are, for the most part, these are dope boy rappers, like to the core.
Yeah.
So this ain't. It wasn't like she came on a Jay Z Nas versus, or an Eminem Wayne versus, or even Tip was on it. Like these are like dudes that built their following off of like street dope boy rap.
Sure. Mhm.
And so for her to come on there, understanding the magnitude of verses, and you got to give a nod to Timberland and Swiss Beats for the
Yes.
platform they've built. For her to understand the magnitude of those two cats representing Atlanta on verses
Mhm.
in front of a million people, and to say, let me come on here to advocate for the vote, like that kind of shows that she was, she's in tune with her constituents.
Got it.
So I thought it was cool. Thought it was a cool move.
Yeah, I I kind of like I was kind of taken back, and the reason why this makes for a great conversation because we got people who probably agree or disagree with both of us,
Yeah.
because we don't know what we're voting for.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like she's telling
Mhm.
everybody to vote, but we don't know what we're voting for. It's like put a blindfold on and follow me. You
Yeah.
know, if Stacey Abrams would have came on and says this senator is going to do X, Y, Z, and how it correlates to that audience,
Yeah.
to that hip hop audience, that dope boy audience, then
Yeah.
I thought she was using obviously her presence in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, and her black skin to gain
Mhm.
leverage within us. It was no articulation of why should y'all, or not as you in Louisiana, but
Right. Yeah.
why should the people in Georgia participate and vote for somebody in the state senate? You get what I'm
No,
saying?
I got that, and I
Mhm.
think that that was a matter of like she didn't have but a limited amount of time. You know what I mean? She was
Yeah.
on there for a couple of minutes,
Mhm.
but I think that for some people that may have been viewing, we have to take into account that some people who may have been viewing
Mhm.
may not have even been considering the Georgia Senate race at all. So just for coming on there and mentioning, making
Absolutely.
reference like
Absolutely.
that may theoretically led someone to like, I don't know what you were talking about. Maybe I should look into this a bit,
Right.
or maybe not, right?
Right.
But I think that there's a million places that she probably could have been tonight virtually, but to like show up there, because again, like these are not quote unquote safe um hip hop artists. And by safe, I mean like it's not necessarily politically expedient to stand next to either one of these cats.
Mhm.
Like it's not, and that's where, there's a difference where, someone like Jay-Z, like it's safe for politicians to stand next to Jay-Z because of the status that he's elevated to.
Mhm.
Um, Whereas, somebody could be like, Stacey Abrams was, what I mean, on a verses with Gucci Mane, who was talking about, dig your homeboy up, like it
Yeah.
could it could go left in that way or whatever. And so I think that yeah, there's probably some maybe minimal value to her coming on and saying something. But I do agree with you that best case scenario, she would have been able to like really educate folks on the vote and
Right.
like who they're voting for and what for. So small steps.
Right. 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 And you were pretty opinionated about Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well transition that since we're speaking about hip hop. And
Yeah.
elaborate on what you thought of Lil Wayne endorsing Donald Trump, and then feel free to segue into his gun charge if there's any relevance there.
So I feel like first and foremost, I feel like it was a money grab. I think that most of the rappers, or any, whether it was Wayne, whether it was Pump, you know what I mean, any of those folks, I felt that they were kind of co-signing or aligning with Trump.
Mhm.
There probably was a check involved, and I mean, 50 Cent alluded to the fact that back in 2016 when Trump was running, the Trump campaign offered him like $1 million to pull up at the inauguration, which
Wow.
he declined, right? So there obviously is like a money trail to this. As a Louisiana native, as someone like I'm 2 years older than Wayne,
Mhm.
so basically I grew up listening to the Hot Boys, or whatever. Like I remember when Wayne was 15 and didn't curse in his verses or whatever. So I've literally followed the trajectory of his career for
Okay.
a long time.
Yeah.
And so this is what I'll say as much as I've appreciated a fair amount of Wayne's artistry, I never looked at him as a political maven. Like I like um and Wayne prides himself on being checked out. Like if you watch him in interviews, he talks about being aloof and checked out and like I'm in my own world. I skateboard. I pop Percocets. I smoke weed or whatever.
Right.
Politics ain't my thing. And so I saw that happen. I'm like, okay, this was absolutely something that that's probably financially advantageous for you to do. It was easy for them to bring you in. He was talking about, Trump talked about the platinum plan and the work he's done with criminal justice reform, which those two things told me what I already knew, which is
Mm.
that Wayne is aloof politically,
Sure.
and he really had no insight or whatever.
I would agree with that.
Um, Now, with respect to the federal gun charges that he recently caught, I kind of jokingly said, yeah, Wayne may have thought that rolling with Trump would get him a pardon. You know what I mean? Upon like getting federal charges. But that's not necessarily how that works because Trump doesn't pardon uh, rappers per se. You know what I mean? I know there was an incident. I forgot who it was. I think it was Aesop got in trouble overseas maybe 2 years ago, and Trump kind of helped get out of that situation. But generally, when it comes to pardons that Donald Trump was offering, it was, for old white dudes in the political realm.
Mhm.
So the idea, even if Wayne was of the impression that if I endorse Trump, because he had to know that these charges, you don't just get hit with federal charges out of nowhere. He had to know this is probably looming in the shadows. So this idea of, well, if I endorse him, I could probably A, get a bag, and B, possibly get a pardon. And so now, none of the above. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you got to check. Trump didn't win the election. You're not going to get a pardon from him. So for me, at the end of the day, what were you willing to sacrifice?
Sure.
Now, the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of folks that are in Wayne's orbit or in his audience that don't give a damn one way or the other that he endorsed Trump. But then there are other people that are like, yo, you kind of showed us where you stood in a very, very consequential moment. You know what I mean? Like this, this whole election situation was not inconsequential. Like it was a very consequential moment. And regardless of how I feel about Joe Biden, because I don't believe Joe Biden to be the savior of anything, you know what I mean?
Mm.
I think that is a very definitive stance when you're like, I'm going to roll with Donald Trump, stand next to him in my cardigan and grin, you know what I mean? And tell you about some shit that you really don't know too much about. Like, do you really know about the Platinum Plan, Wayne? Do you really know about this
Right.
edge work in criminal justice reform? No.
Right.
You knew that they probably had to check for you, and yeah. So yeah, that's just kind of where I looked at it as this is a money grab,
Sure.
um, and a publicity thing.
How did you how did you uh decipher who to vote for between Biden, Trump, and whoever, and if you voted for anyone else? How did you how did you work through it? Because I went through your timeline and I'm gonna give you my interpretation.
Yeah.
And uh is that you are above the fray in terms of an intellect. And so as I was going through your timeline, I was like, I'm very interested. It looked like you may have voted for Biden, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
But
did. I did.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
and but it seems like you see the finish line, and my question was to you, like, how did you get to the point of voting for Biden when you know so much?
Begrudgingly. That's the short answer. For me, I believe in this idea that we have to get beyond two-party politics. We have to move to a point of breaking the binary
Mhm.
simply because you always find yourself in this either or dichotomy that doesn't necessarily serve anyone.
Mhm.
So I'll say this: in 2016, when Trump was running against Hillary Clinton, I voted for Jill Stein. And the
Mm,
reason I voted for Jill Stein had nothing to do with me believing that Jill Stein had a snowball's chance in hell at winning. It had everything to do with this idea that if the Green Party received at least 5% of the vote, then for future elections, they would have a better, greater platform, um, get more television time, you know what I mean? Just get more traction. So I did that in 2016. This year, to be honest with you, I didn't see a lot of third party or non-binary options like really out there. So
mm,
in 2016, saw Jill Stein, saw Gary Johnson, I think his name, some to that effect with the Libertarian Party. Like they didn't have the television time as Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, but they had a presence.
mhm.
This time around, I didn't really see much of a third party presence. So I was like, when I got in the booth, I saw that there were other names, but I didn't really hear much about those other folks.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, let me bite the bullet here. Boom, I'm gonna click.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm a click Joe Biden with no real expectations of anything aside from maybe he won't set the country on fire. You know what I mean? Because that's the direction I felt that we had been headed. You know what I mean? And I said this on social media. The truth of the matter is, as deplorable of a job as Donald Trump had been doing running the country, if there was no COVID-19, he probably would have been reelected. Um, Simply because there were a lot of things that people were able to let slide.
Sure.
They let his racism slide. They let his xenophobia slide. They let his conflicts of interest slide. They let his general ineptness, like just incompetence slide.
Sure.
But
I see the incompetence. I definitely see
right,
the incompetence.
but when you got 250,000 Americans who have died, 10 million infected, millions and millions out of work, what happened was a lot of, quite frankly, a lot of white folks that were veering in that direction were like, yo, man, this guy really stunk this place up. You know what I mean? And so it was, like I said, I'm not out. I didn't wave the Biden flag. I never said to anyone that I was voting for Joe Biden. I quietly went in the booth
Mhm.
and like push that button or whatever. Um, Mainly because I think that right now, what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris more or less embody
Mhm.
is like a stopping of the bleeding, like stop the hemorrhaging. They're not the cure, right? Um, but I look at it, I fashion it like emergency triage, right? So if you go to the hospital with a gunshot wound, the first thing you need is the hole to be patched up. You know what I mean? Your healing behind the gunshot wound will come in time, but you immediately need that hole to be patched up unless you're going to bleed out.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that was my rationale, regarding that. Didn't have too much familiarity with the other folks who were on the ticket, and I'm like, okay, best case scenario, maybe worst case scenario, Biden gets in 2 years in, he's like too old for the job. He has to step aside. Maybe Kamala takes over, but then we move her into a different sphere, a further left direction as well. So
Mhm.
you basically set up for a future situation 2024 where you can really get someone progressive in, as opposed to progressive by comparison,
Mhm.
because like Joe Biden is not a progressive, and for all intents and purposes, neither is Kamala Harris.
Mhm.
But in comparison to Donald Trump, they look like Che Guevara. You know what I mean? Because he's just so, and the Republican Party is just so far right.
Mhm.
So you got to stop the hemorrhaging,
Mhm.
get someone in that's not going to run things completely off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
But then, my whole mindset has been vote Trump out while at the same time be planning Joe Biden's retirement party. Like, you know what I mean? From day one, like, yeah, son, you here for a limited time only.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Uh-huh. You use the term progressive. Some people say liberal.
Yeah.
I, I think that's a white person's term, like progressive and liberal. Do you think we need to start saying like we need someone who's for black people?
Yeah. So I use progressive just by way of common speak. You know what I mean? Because
It's
that's
easier.
language.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that the liberal agenda and or the quote unquote progressive agenda does not necessarily align with what is beneficial to black people. Um, I think that again, when you get to talking about the trappings of two party system or the trappings of the binary, you get folded into these like very basic labels: progressive, liberal, moderate, conservative. All of that is within the spectrum of Democrat and Republican, right? Um, but when you get outside of that box and you talk about what it means for folks to be like leftists or what it means for folks to be, revolutionary, like that doesn't fit inside the box of progressivism.
Sure.
Um, and so
That's called militant America.
it is.
You
It
know,
is.
why is
It
that
is.
militant? Why is that so militant? Mexicans can do whatever they want. Hell no, we ain't going back to Mexico. You know what I mean? White people carry guns, man, to the state capitol and trying to abduct the governor. That's
Yeah.
not militant. You know, we carry a gun in open carry state like Louisiana or Georgia.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
militant. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, they don't view that as militancy because for them that type of action is foundational. Like America was founded on a revolution. You know what I mean? It was
great work.
founded.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was founded on white men who
Mhm.
came and took up arms. You know what I mean? To overthrow people who were already here.
Right.
Um, in rebuke of the place that they came from, Britain, Europe, et cetera, et cetera. Like, so when they see their sons and grandsons doing that, that's traditional for them.
Mm.
When they see us taking up arms, that is threatening. You know what I mean? Because the other side of tradition that they're familiar with is like rebellions by the likes of Nat Turner, right? So they're like, well, we can't have black folks taking up arms, in the streets or mobilizing, in force because that is a threat to the status quo.
Mm.
But if they see their sons out there marching in the name of not wanting to wear a mask, that's just aligned with American tradition. You know what I mean? The truths that we have to tell is that America was founded on white violence. You know what I mean? And so much of
Savagery.
even yeah, I
I mean,
mean even so much of the things that when folks talk about who we are and who we've been socialized to be, a lot of that is like learned behavior. You know what I mean? Like we learned in this country that violence is respected,
mm.
that capitalism is prioritized, that taking things by brute force is the American way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah, this is what this place taught us.
Right. You know, I've always wanted to ask like someone like you because you're so bright. I've been reading all your stuff all day, and how and me and Reggie Owens in the chat we go back and forth because they think I'm a staunch Republican and I'm pro-Trump. They think I'm like pro-Trump like 9,000. Yeah.
Okay.
How do we disseminate the who's less racist or who's not racist and who is racist between Joe Biden and Donald Trump?
Well, that's a loaded question.
And the reason why I asked, yeah, it is too.
Yeah.
And I just stopped having conversations with people about this because they say that's a long time ago. about the crime bill, about him wanting segregation in schools, about mandatory 5-year sentence, and so on and so forth. Jews getting uh, uh, reparations in 2015, 16, and stuff like that. And then they bring up Donald Trump's Central Park Five,
Right.
and they forget that that's in the same realm of
Yeah.
the crime bill. And
Yeah.
so my question is like, how do we disseminate? How do we know what's less racist, and how do we know that Donald Trump is more racist than Joe Biden?
I think that so. I think that probably the core difference is that Donald Trump is emboldened by a party that at this point they're like, yo, let's just wave the racism flag. Like
Sure.
if that's let's just wave, let's just do that or whatever. So he's just it's really more being more emboldened. And I mean, we don't have to go too far in the past to talk about things that Joe Biden says or does that's questionable along the lines of, being, at least racially biased
Mhm.
at minimum. Like Joe Biden is staunchly against, for example, defunding the police, right? He's
Sure.
like, he doesn't want to do that.
Uh-huh.
Joe Biden is like, when you ask Joe Biden about the crisis of black folks being killed by state sanctioned violence, Joe Biden's solution is maybe the police can just shoot him in the leg.
Uh-huh.
But he's
Right.
not talking about, cops not being violent toward disenfranchised communities. He's like, just don't kill them, shoot
Mhm.
them in the leg, right? And so I think that, is Donald Trump is a sideshow. He is a buffoon. He is a person that does and says the dirty work of lots of white men,
Sure.
really on both sides of the aisle,
Mm.
not necessarily just Republican.
Mhm.
Joe Biden has spent his life as a career politician, so
Mm.
he understands how to systemically disenfranchise folks if need be. And
Mm.
I think that's really the core difference. Like Donald Trump does not have the political savvy, the political acumen, even after 4 years in office. Like that's just not how his mind operates. His mind operates like a CEO. So he is bullish,
Right.
he's
Right.
bullish, and he's brutish. You know what I mean? That's how he goes about things. Joe Biden goes about things as a politician. At the end of the day, um, one person is going to tell you outright how bigoted they are.
Mhm.
One person may implement policies that make your life hell.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Well, actually, both people, right? But one person just may be way more just adamant about it. You know, um, I think that people don't take into consideration, like, so when you think about the racism that Joe Biden may carry, people don't think about the fact that Joe Biden will be in the White House for the second time, and in both instances, someone black was the prop
Mhm.
that brought him in. You know what I mean? In the first instance, Barack Obama was like, "Hey, Joe, come with me." In the
Mhm.
second instance, Joe Biden was like, "Hey, Kamala, can you ride with me?" You know what I mean? But in both instances,
Taking a lot
you
of notes,
know,
by the way.
yeah, in both instances, some black person was the liaison between Joe outside the White House and Joe inside the White House.
Uh-huh.
And so, he's like, so he'll say, well, African Americans have always had my back, or even be as audacious to tell, Charlemagne the God, well, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black or whatever.
I was
Because,
completely off by that.
and that is because there's a difference, and I have a, I'm gonna say this not as a shameless plug, but I have a T-shirt that I designed where it says love black people like you love black culture. And what happens with a lot of white folks like Joe Biden, and this is the same way with Bill Clinton back in 1992, this idea that you are immersed in black culture, but not necessarily immersed in the humanity of black people. And so you can put on a pretty comfortable facade being immersed in black culture. Being immersed in black culture allows you to go on the Breakfast Club and say, well, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black. or being immersed in Black culture allows you to say African Americans have always had my back. But being, immersed in Black humanity and giving a damn about Black people, will have you admit to the wrongs of the 1994 crime bill, which he's never done. You know what I mean? When he's pressed on it, he deflects and says, well, there was the Violence Against Women Act, there were all these different things. And he never hesitates to throw Black political folks under the bus when that comes up. When it comes up, he's like, well, all the people in the Congressional Black Caucus got behind it, right?
Right.
So
That's
you know what I mean?
he
So,
said he proudly drafted
yeah. And so Black folks are always used as some sort of prop for Joe Biden in some way, shape, or form. Either they're going to help him get in the White House, or if someone needs to be thrown under the bus, you know what I mean? Like, well, don't just say it was me about the crime bill, because these Negroes were behind it too.
Right.
So, that's a different type of racism than we see with Donald Trump.
Right. Okay.
But it's kind of all the. I think that for me, and to kind of go back to what you asked earlier, for me, it probably is a little less about the idea of Biden being radically less racist and more about the idea of him being more competent. Because, like with Donald Trump, his racism combined with his incompetence is the type of thing that could blow some shit up.
Yeah, his incompetence was beyond. It was well below average.
Yeah.
Is a barometer. You get what I'm saying? Like it was below zero at.
Well, he wasn't. Well, the thing about it, the thing that we have to reconcile with, and what we have to understand is that Donald Trump never actually I'm not going to say he never actually wanted to be the president, but he kind of was less interested in leading and more interested in the power grab and the money grab that came with it.
Sure.
When he and Hillary Clinton were facing off in 2016, it came out that he said that he thought that he had lost the race to her prior to, like the night of. So he was just as shocked as a lot of people were when the map on CNN was going red. Like, wait, what the hell? Like, wait, he didn't anticipate that to happen. What he wanted was essentially a lot of what he's got. Donald Trump has made millions of dollars just during the past 4 years with having dignitaries, go to Trump Towers, just having these different, business ventures tied into his presidency. Apparently he's still in a lot of debt, which is why he's out here conning white folks to pay for this quote unquote recount campaign or whatever, so he can take that money to the face. But this was a money grab and a power grab for him. And that's not to say that anyone who runs for president is not feeding a certain level of ego or a certain level of zest power. But with Donald Trump, he was woefully ill qualified. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It would be like me saying, yo, I'm about to start the quarterback for the Saints. You know what I mean? I can't do that, right? And if, the Saints organization decided to make me their quarterback, then they failed, their organization. Which is, that's kind of like what happened with Trump. A lot of Americans failed this country by voting for someone that appealed to their lowest selves and their worst impulses.
Right. Do you think I had this thought? Not obviously, but I saw people at the MAGA event. Like I saw it on my timeline. I had this idea because people were so strong, hell bent on supporting Donald Trump. If he created his own political party, would that make the black vote more powerful? And do you think he would create his own party?
So what I think, and I said something a couple of months ago in jest.
Hmm.
I was like, if Donald Trump loses the election, which he has,
He has.
um, like Donald Trump may end up relocating to Florida and try to reinstitute the Confederacy or something to that effect. You know what I mean? Like I could see Donald Trump because like what we have to be honest about is over 70 million people voted for him, right?
That's what
Um,
I'm saying. Yeah.
Goddamn people, you
Yeah.
know. So the man has a great deal of influence, for better or worse, but really just for us.
Hmm.
Um, Donald Trump has diehard, fervent, strong followers. Like his followers are passionate.
I could tell.
And the reason why there was so much of a concern of Joe Biden even winning the election was because there was not a level of passion. People were just like, we're going to vote for him because we need to get this other dude out, right? It was a dispassionate vote. Saying that to say, if Donald Trump decided that he wanted to institute a new political party or even like stage some sort of rebellion where he's like, look, all of you MAGA folks, all you Trump folks, like this America ain't for us. We
Yeah.
need to do something else. We
Yeah.
need to figure out how to cut this map off. It would be people lined up to do so. Like a lot of people,
I know.
right?
I know.
Um, and so what Donald Trump represents is a mutation of where the Republican Party was going. And what
Mm.
I mean by that is during the Obama administration, the Tea Party came about, right? And
Yes.
they were hell bent on obstructing everything Barack Obama. So Donald Trump is a mutation of that. And
Right.
with that, you have a much more fringe group of people that's like, to hell with any American norms, to hell with democracy. We're gonna do whatever we need to do, right? What the left does not necessarily have is a well-oiled counter to that. And so this is why, and so this is where, black folks divorcing themselves of the two-party system can't be nothing but good. And what I mean by that is like we don't necessarily have um, any political party that is passionately driven towards our equality and towards our equity. We got folks that's like, wait in line. We'll let one or two of you in. Wait your turn. Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we hear you, um, but they'll pull up at your church. You know what I'm saying? They'll sing your song. They'll
Put hot
court,
sauce in their purse.
huh?
They'll do the Dougie. They'll put hot sauce.
Yeah, they'll do all of that, right? They'll sing your song. They'll court your neighbors. They'll do all of that, but they won't passionately advocate for your equality or for your equity. You know what I mean? They want you. They'll ask you to fold and assimilate into American norms while still treating you as like three-fifths of a person.
Facts. Right.
So, um, we have, and the other thing is this, and as I talk to people about these kind of things, what I realize more and more is that a lot of people in general are just like totally turned off by the idea of two-party politics, you know. And this election, I think, underscored that maybe more than any other recent election, because folks were just like, I don't want Trump to stay in office. I don't necessarily want to vote for Joe Biden, but what are my options? Right. And so when we talk about this idea of what are our options, well, hell, we are the people that can create our options. Um, and when I think about Black folks in America, and when I think about the forming of alternate parties, I think about the fact that when you talk about our money, when you talk about our talent, when you talk about our resources, when you talk about the political knowledge that we have gained over, over the last couple of centuries, there's enough within that to create something outside of the binary. The reason I know is because we give and expend all of that primarily to the Democratic Party, sometimes to Republicans or whatever, but we give the best of our talent, the best of our political expertise, to our research. Like we give all of that away. You know what I mean? For as my brother, one of my homies, Marcel P. Black would say, Democrats treat black people like a booty call. So like we give
I like
the
that.
best of ourselves away, not to get a ring put on our finger, not to be wifed up or husband up or whatever, but to be like a really, really nice side piece, right? Now, the Republican Party is like, hell with you N words, like, we ain't got nothing for you. But the Democratic Party is often like, you know, hit us with that late night, what you doing text.
Right, right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? And we constantly, we pull up. And that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of emotional effort. That's a lot of financial labor. That's a lot of political capital that we turn over, that we could be using in other ways.
What do we do in 2024?
I think that you have to assess what will be going on over the next 4 years and like really critically think about the moment that you're in, like right now. And what I mean by that is we always get amnesia every time election cycles come around. It's like we forget what the administration that's leading us into the next election cycle did, unless it's something extremely like egregious, right? So in this particular case, you can't forget the fact that Trump let 250,000 Americans die behind him mishandling the coronavirus because it's going on right now, right? Now, in 2024, when it's time for whatever happens with the Biden Harris administration and it's time to do whatever, like folks can't forget what happened in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Folks can't forget what happened in the midterms. Like you got to keep all those things in perspective. And then from there, decide like, all right, so we tried it this way and we've been trying it this particular way for years and years and years and years and years. Um, why not try something else?
Gotcha.
Uh, and it's a scary thing, and it's scary because people have been conditioned and socialized to vote a particular way and to expect a particular thing from their government. So it's scary to say for a lot of folks to say we're just going to like pivot and do something totally else.
Right.
But and I'll say this and I'll be done. If black folks ever want to arrive at like real equity and real equality, we have to figure out something else. Politically, we have to figure out something outside of that, outside of the two-party system, because there's always going to be like some level of concessions that are given, but just enough to keep us coming back.
Right. Absolutely right. Kind of like a booty call.
Yep, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
one time you may get cheese on your Whopper, you know what I mean? One time you may get to stay overnight, but generally speaking, you're still not getting that ring.
Right. Right. Now, now you're the founder of the Black Out Loud conference. What is that? If you founded it in what 2018?
Yeah.
2018.
So the quick origin story behind that. So in 2017, during Black History Month, I was writing shout out style posts on my Facebook to different just different kind of characters, if you will, in Black culture. Because typically during Black History Month, people, talk about Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, et cetera, et cetera. So what I wanted to do was just kind of give homage to everyday Black people. So I write these posts like, shout out to the Black cafeteria lady, you know what I mean? Shout out to the inventor of the grown and sexy movement, like just random stuff, right? Long story short, those posts got a lot of traction. They were shared thousands of times, and from there,
I saw them.
yeah. So I took those posts and I was like, I'm going to create a book of prose, and I named that book of prose Black Out Loud. And then from there, I was like, so if this idea around visibility and narrative was the premise for me writing these posts, what would it look like if I was to come up and create a conference that really dealt with Black visibility and Black narrative being celebrated and championed? So at the top of 2018, again, like I get a lot of crowdsourcing ideas by throwing out stuff on Facebook and just like seeing where it lands. And so I kind of put that out there, like, what if blah blah blah, and people were like, "Yo, I'd be all about that." So um, began planning at the top of 2018, did it in August 2018. And so I wanted the Black All Out conference to be focused around three different kind of pillars. Um, and for the first one, I chose arts, activism, and media because those are three things that I was intimately involved in. You know what I mean? As a spoken word poet, of course, the arts. I got a lot more involved in like social advocacy in my community, and with media. Like my wife's a journalist. I was always kind of into like media and whatnot. So I thought those would be three like really cool focal points for that first conference. So basically, what I did, I reached out to my network and got different people from the realm of arts and media and activism to participate in panel discussions, to lead workshops, like to really set that off or whatever. So that first year, we did it the weekend of my birthday, which was pretty wild. And people were like, "Well, that's pretty like narcissistic of you to throw yourself a conference for your birthday." I'm like, "But actually, this is like a lot of work." Um, but it was cool. It was a good thing. And so in 2019, brought it back, changed the focal points to criminal justice reform, financial empowerment, and mental health awareness. So the same idea. I got different people who were experts in those different fields to lead workshops, to participate in panel discussions, et cetera, et cetera. Um, what I was doing with Black Out Loud in between the conferences was throwing like kind of related events. So after um, the first conference, August 2018, like the following month, I did a mental health open mic where I had, you know, it was part performance, but it was also mental health experts coming in and talking. After that, I did an event called Voting While Black, which was all around voter advocacy. That spring, top of 2019, I did an event called Color of Currency, which was all around like Black equity and empowerment, financial empowerment. And the interesting thing about those things that went in between the two conferences was that they set me up for the theme of the 2019 conference, right? So that's more or less what Black Out Loud had been right before. And so I don't know if you knew this or if I mentioned this. So I actually moved from Baton Rouge in August. Like right now, I live in Hyattsville, Maryland. So I live about 6 miles outside of DC.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife and I relocated up here in October. So been in the DMV a little over a month now. Um, but before Baton Rouge and before the world shut down due to the pandemic, I was trying to figure out how to keep Black Out Loud programming going. Um, and so in the early spring, I was doing a series on Instagram called COVID Conversations for the Culture, which I was like bringing in different people, again, different experts, and I would have one-on-one conversations with them on the Black Out Loud Instagram Live. And for the last couple of months, me and one of my homies who's a DJ, we've been doing this event called Play Black, which is basically just like a musical event that we do on Zoom that's theme oriented. So we did like soul and like 70 soul legends. We did like bounce and dance hall. The last one we did was something that we had previously done called the movement mix, where we took excerpts of social justice speeches
Mhm.
and my DJ blended hip hop soul instrumentals under it. So like we had a speech from Angela Davis, from Fred Hampton, and from Fannie Lou Hamer, and we took the vocal from the speech and he like scratched it. It was real dope. Um, so I just been trying to figure out ways to keep Black Out Loud going in the midst of the pandemic. And so now that I'm in the DMV in the DC area, my considerations for what this looks like moving forward is definitely based on what happens with this virus. So for me, best case scenario, 2021, the world is back open. I can have Black Out Loud in the DC area and invite my BR people up here,
Mm.
and really try to make things worth their while. So that's the story behind Black Out Loud.
And you also are the editor for the North Star.
Yeah, I'm my position is chief content editor, so that entails a couple of different things. So I write editorials about maybe 4 times a week.
Mm.
Um, 3 times a week are short form editorials, and once a week is a long form. I also assist with the podcast. The North Star has 6 podcasts running right now, so sometimes I assist with writing content for the podcast, or maybe assist with guests. But primarily, what I do in that role is kind of like quality control.
Mm.
So I'll come up with different templates or different ideas to kind of help us expand on the quality of our content
Mhm.
and to think of different ways that we can increase our outreach by upping the quality of our content.
Sure.
And so I started writing for the North Star back in January as a freelance writer, and I did that from January up until August, and then in August they brought me on full time as chief content editor. So it's been a great experience. We're a small but mighty and hardworking team, and I'm learning a hell of a lot, and it's a good time.
Yeah. And you actually work with Sean King, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sean is he's the founder. Well, he's the relaunched founder of the North Star. So, for any of my history buffs out there, the North Star was an original publication of Frederick Douglass. Back in the late 1800s. So, Sean revamped the North Star brand in 2019. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm in communication with Sean like pretty much 5 days a week. Um, via there's a platform we use called Slack, um, mostly via Slack. Sometimes, if something real urgent, we may jump on the phone, but yeah, I'm in pretty regular communication with him.
Okay. I go up and down with him. You know what I mean? Like high and
Yeah,
low.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't really know who he is, you know.
yeah.
And tell us who he is, and then I'll tell you why I jumped off of this Shine King kind of
Yeah.
train, so to speak. Yeah.
So from what from what I have grown to know of Sean, uh, Sean is a family man. One, he is a husband to an incredibly smart, dedicated wife who actually does run the North Star, Ray King. He's a father to 5 kids. Um, he is a super duper 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 passionate advocate. And at the core, like he believes in this. He believes in like a goodness in humanity, and will fight like hell against anyone that's trying to thwart the goodness of humanity. So like, Sean is a lightning rod. And that's just the position he holds. And he's about that life. Like he goes to war with the powers that be oftentimes. Um, not always to his benefit, but he fights the fight. Um, there's a lot of complexities, just uh, within his personhood. But what I can say is that my dealings and my interactions with Sean over the past year have been 100% solid. And so I like I'm familiar with some of the grievances that other folks have had. We've talked about that off the record,
Mhm.
but with respect to me, like I'm there and I've been there because things are thorough and things are solid with me.
Yeah, my biggest complaint was that, or what made me like take a step back was he was so anti Kamala Harris, and
Yeah.
now pro Harris. And my question is, what has changed?
I mean, like, here's the thing.
I mean, to my humble opinion, I'll let you answer respond to my complete thought.
Yeah,
It made it seem like he was lobbying for a position or a position of power.
yeah. No, so here's the thing to understand with respect to that. Sean is 100% a Bernie guy. Like
Mm,
he looks at Bernie Sanders as a hero,
right.
as a mentor. Like he went out and introduced Bernie at rallies and stuff like that. Sean is a Bernie guy, and he advocated strongly for Bernie Sanders. And even outside of him advocating for Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden was one of the least favorite people for him. So he campaigned for Bernie and he advocated for Bernie, but he also had a lot of respect for Elizabeth Warren. He also had a lot of respect for Julio Castro or whatever. Like Joe Biden was not his guy, was not Sean's guy at all, right? Um, but he ended up taking on a position that a lot of people took on, which was okay, we need to get the maniac out the White House.
Mm,
So this is where you swallow your pride a little bit, you know what I mean, and just say, okay, I may not be a super fan of the alternative, but I mean, it's either that or keep this dude around.
right.
So that's where he pivoted to, you know what I mean, and I think that because he's such a fervent, diehard Bernie guy and Bernie supporter, people were like, "Yo, this looks a little suspect." You know what I mean? That you were going so hard in this direction, but pivoting. But
Mhm.
the thing is, like he understands, like us, like most of us understand or understood that if nothing else, you had to get Trump out of office to even start moving things in something of a stable direction. That's not necessarily a progressive direction. That's not necessarily a revolutionary or equalizing direction, but stable. And so I think what ended up happening was, he understood his platform. Like
Mhm.
Sean has millions of followers on social media.
Right.
The Breakdown podcast gets literally hundreds of thousands of listeners each week. So I think that he took it as his responsibility to say, all right, I may not be a super Biden Harris fan, but let me not be irresponsible and talk too much against them.
Right.
Now, since the election has taken place, he and his partner Lee Merritt, attorney Lee Merritt, they have an organization, Grassroots Law Project. They came up with a website called BidenDemands.com. And right now, they have a list of over 70 demands that the Biden administration can take into effect on day one without Congress. Things that they could do just with their executive powers, right? And all of those demands are centered around um, equality. They're centered around just being, police relations and police reform and things of that nature. So he back on it. You know what I mean? Like he took his foot off the gas to not disrupt the Biden Harris momentum with his platform.
Mm.
But he back on it. Like he's like he and Lee Merritt and the Grassroots Law Project and all those folks that like look, and a lot of folks at at the North Star were like, okay, cool. So the devil we knew did not get reelected. And so now we're gonna deal with the person in front of us
Right.
and call them to task.
Right. We got a call 469. What's up? Feel free to call in,
What up,
guys.
Fred?
What's up, man? How you
What's
feel?
going on? To your guest, I can't remember.
Donney
his name is
Rose.
on the-
Donney Rose, man, the author of The Crime Buck. What's up?
What's going on? To me, to be honest, this sounds like a bunch of intellectual masturbation. We just sitting there talking around in circles about basically these people, who we believe these people to be, but we have history showing us who these people are. So I don't get the Trump maniac in the White House. I think that's a media propaganda to whip us in a frenzy like it always is, to make us choose a side when our side is ourselves. I don't care about what Trump does. I don't care about Trump's policies. What I care about is black people and what affects black people. I don't give a shit about Joe Biden. I don't care about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has shown herself when she was the Attorney General of California to be an enemy of black people. And I don't have to go into detail about that. Y'all Fred, you live in California. She was locking up people left and right. And I think that with the way that the crime rate is right now, I believe that it's a conspiracy for them to start it all over again and start and make this a crime state again, a crime country, because Joe Biden has always bragged about being tough on crime and that he's the toughest Democrat ever on crime. And I just don't see this ending well. I don't give I really don't care about the people that's being named. Sean King, all of that's good. They can fight on the fronts that they need to fight on or whatever. But we need to ask specifically, what do black people get? Now, I saw what they posted, the Biden administration posted about what they was going to do in their first 100 days. Do you know that Kamala Harris is already talking about bringing over 500,000 Indians? They don't have shit to do with us. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Said that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't hear. You got to drop the link so I can know that. Go ahead, but continue.
Oh, okay. I don't have a wrench, so you ain't never wrenched me up. But I've been watching you ever since the first time you ever went live.
Okay.
But so I can't drop the link. Also, I saw Cori Bush, which is one of the representatives that was elected in the office. She put out her first plan, laid out her agenda, and it had nothing to do with black people. Black people are forever getting used to get into these offices because they always whip us into a frenzy. They make us think that we have to choose the good white man. We have to get the good white man out of our minds. Dr. John Henry Clark told us that we have no allies, and we should act as though we have no allies. When we send people to Congress and when we send people to these places, look at their records when it comes to what black people do. Once again, we about to go into a benign neglect policy. Benign neglect. Go look that up. Go see where that started. I don't want to go into detail about that, but that's my view. I don't believe that politics or nothing about politics is going to save us or is going to make us into a better people. I think what makes us into a better people is when we stand on a code and talk about things that we will accept and that we won't accept. This is not our political system. It's not. It's not designed for us, but they put black people in front of us as mannequins to say, look at him. He's successful. He's a congressman. We've had thousands and thousands. We've had hundreds and hundreds of congressmen. All of these cities damn near got Democratic mayors, and they are ran to shit. So the platform that I would stand on is black people have a code. I don't know if Fred, you've seen The Last Planet of the Apes, but they were talking about a code. Ape no kill other ape. Ape show other ape respect. That's the kind of code that we should live by. That's the thing that we should drill into our children. And when you see a person that looks like you should show them the ultimate respect. Because when you look at that person is you. We so quick to talk about white people policies and what white people do. And I can hear people like your guest, he was describing Trump's mind and how Trump is this bad, big bad man. If we look at every president that has ever been outside of Obama because of his skin tone, we can see that these people never gave a shit about us. So my solution would be for us to get on code. Fred, when I see you, I see a black man. I see a great black man. And when I see you and when I speak to you, that's how I'm gonna speak to you. When I see all black people, whether they know it or not, we should treat each other with respect and kindness and courteousness. But outside of that, if I don't have nothing to say, I don't say anything to black people unless I have something constructive to do. Lily Fuller teaches us that we should avoid each other because we so full of toxins. So if I have nothing to offer you, if I'm not coming to your house to help you paint, to help you clean up, to help you do something constructive, not to have no contact with other black people. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't say. Do you want to respond, Donney?
No, look, so what I've said consistently, a few things. Number one, again, I'm not bound to, nor do I believe in the benevolence of the political binary. And what I said is that we need to find a point where we are separating ourselves from that. That's first and foremost. I also agree with the idea that representation does not mean everything. So yes, there is a such thing as having black folks in positions of power that are there for the purpose of, just like representation by itself. So that's not a solution. And yes, America has had a far-reaching history of presidents that have been anti-black, that have been detrimental to black folks. Hell, some of the first American presidents were slaveholders. But as we're talking about right now, because I believe in something called nuance, and as we're talking about right now, there is a distinction between what is something that is wildly manic and out of control that you do need to get a handle on, and what is something that you can push in a direction to get something that you need to get out of it. So either way it goes, we have to be pushing folks and advocating for ourselves in ways that they're not just going to comply to. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter who is in office. And the truth of the matter is also this, like, as much as we may not tend to care about politics, and we have every reason not to, politics cares about us. And what I mean by that is, like, when politicians are looking for ways to disenfranchise your black ass, they will figure that out. You know what I mean? And so it becomes a matter of, if you want to, if you want to be completely checked out of that process, that's on you, right? But they're not going to check out of ways to further marginalize you or further disenfranchise you. Like, they're not going to take that time off. They won't take that off.
Why do you think that they disenfranchise us?
Because that's basically foundational. Like, that is, we were brought here essentially to be disenfranchised. Like, this is why we're here.
Do you think that we should expect to be mistreated? Do you think that?
I think that within ourselves, we should not settle for being mistreated. But I don't think that we should have any expectations of the system of American government.
It's the next caller.
Okay. Thank you, Fred.
I appreciate
everything.
You.
I appreciate it. I just want to I just want to just add my little piece, whether and I'm learning. So thank you, brother, for on in the barbershop. And even though I might not agree with everything you said, I'm learning. So
respect to you, man. Respect to you, brother.
So Donney, I have an idea.
Yeah.
me what you think about this idea, because people in the chat was solution.
Yeah.
I have something called DAMP, right?
Mhm.
Detroit, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Miami, Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
And I'm calling it the Overground Railroad, DAMP, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm guessing if we can get those 5 cities to vote as a block and or take a great percentage of the vote, we can literally have a key to the White House.
Yeah. That's an interesting concept. So, one of my homies, friend of mine, Gary Chambers, who had a big viral moment back in the summer when he called out Connie Bernard with the school board or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his video went all over the place. So Gary believes in this idea of New Black South. And where his premise comes from is that the majority of Black folks in America live in the South, right? Um, Louisiana has 33% Black population. Mississippi has like the largest Black population, 35%. Georgia, Alabama, so kind of along that kind of deep South pocket, the most Black people in the country live there. So Gary's thought process is similar to what you're saying, but is relative to the southern states. So he's like, if a lot of Black folks who migrated to other places, whose family migrated to other places, move back to these areas, that we can take political control of a lot of those southern states.
Sure.
And like he and I, we've talked about that a couple of times at length, and I understand the rationale by numbers. Um, I'm not necessarily always sure, and I've expressed to him, not really sure if that works out in practice. Because what we know is that, in the country of South Africa, um, Black folks made up over 90% of the population. Like 4% white folks were in South Africa and they ruled, the country for decades. And even though it's not the same as America, when you have things structured a particular way, representation is not always enough. You know what I mean? So you can have a bunch of Black folks in a particular area. It doesn't always necessarily equate to like taking power away. The other thing that we have to also look at is, and this is why what I was referring to the caller before, with respect to representation, is that if you have a bunch of Black leaders who have been trained and brought up in the way of white nationalism, or who have been trained to uphold like some levels of white supremacy, even within their governance, then it doesn't matter if you have Black leaders. You know what I mean? And so, like I was just saying to the brother that just called, we had a kind of difference of opinion, but I think the where we aligned was this idea of, when you talk about Black folks taking power or coming into power, it has to be from a genuine and authentically Black place. And I don't mean place by way of geography. I mean by way of like, what are the social and cultural norms that we need to have to our benefit in order to like get some equality, to get some equity. So saying all that to say that there has been conversation similar to what you brought up about this idea of concentrated spaces like certain cities or certain regions that have heavy Black populations, like getting those folks together to take political power. But the question then becomes, if we take political power in those spaces, are we taking political power in the manner that we need to be, or are we replicating some level of white nationalism?
Should athletes be playing right now?
catch 22. I mean, on one hand, you know, it's people's livelihood. Uh, on the other hand, American sports is such it grabs such a high level of attention, and it can literally stop the world. So if athletes are deciding not to, then that tells a that tells a makes a strong point, a strong story, or whatever. Um, I was kind of conflicted a little bit about when the NBA restarted and they were in a bubble and it was like this whole Black Lives Matter theme or whatever, and folks players were rocking it on their jersey. I was like, it's cool that Black Lives Matter is on the court, painted on the court, and folks got this on their jersey. Um, but you know, the NBA is still like a majority, like it's a white led institution. You know what I mean? The players are majority black. And so I think that Adam Silver allowed certain things that, the NFL, that Roger Goodell wouldn't allow for the purpose of like keeping his workforce um, at ease or at bay. Um, but like in the grand scheme of things, like what did it all amount to? You know what I mean? I will specifically say that it would be great if the NFL players, the black NFL players would strike because, the NFL in many ways has shown just a complete like middle finger to to the plight of black people. I think that again, when you kind of talk about this dynamic between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who is like the blatant bigot versus who is like more kind of subversive with this. So the NBA as an institution, as a multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar corporation, of course, is going to prioritize its business over everything. But it has not felt to be as blatant in its disregard as the NFL has. You know what I mean? The NFL sat Colin Kaepernick down nearly 5 years ago. Um, Subsequently sat down Eric Reed like afterwards, right? Um, and decided that the way to get around, like they did that to him, did it to Eric Reed, and then co-opted their movement and turned it into something else. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, Jay-Z, come in and, you're going to be the face of our social justice. But like, yo, you got players in their prime that were telling you these things and you were like, nah, you can't do that. You know, we're going to we're going to make it tight on you to get signed by a new team. So, and also I feel like the NFL, out of all professional sports leagues, looks very, very close to a plantation.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like
Facts.
it just, I mean, like just aesthetically, when you look at, the fact that all of the owners like pretty much are white, and it just has a whole plantation vibe. And so that's the only league that I would be like really, really like thrilled if their players were like, nah, we're not going to do it. Ideally, all athletes would be using their influence to do what needs to be done. But I also understand that every athlete is not moving from a place of social advocacy. Every athlete is not going to be Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? And some folks prioritize their contracts and their money and their endorsements. And
Right.
so,
Right. Right.
you're gonna do.
Speaking of sports, let's slide over to entertainment. Uh, because this was a hot button on our show. Nick Cannon, what's your take on Nick Cannon and his position? And now the apology, and feel free to segue into DC Young Fly saying he didn't want to take the eight figure payday to represent the brand that Nick Cannon created.
So I'm not really familiar with the DC Young Fly situation, but with respect to Nick Cannon, I think that Nick Cannon is someone who is learning out loud. And what I mean by that, like he's learning things in the public view that he was not necessarily always versed on before. And with that, you're going to get a lot of, a lot of slip ups or inconsistencies or inaccuracies. You know what I mean? Um, Now, with respect to what he said, I think the controversy was around what he said. I think about it was something regarding Jewish people.
Yeah, he said they
Um,
savages, and then he said, you can't fire a boss, and then less than 24 hours later, he said, I apologize.
yeah, because somebody, the folks at MTV wilding out pulled his coattail. I
Viacom.
was like, yeah, Viacom, like, oh, really? So how about this? Um, and so, there are a lot of things that a lot of plights of other people that we're not always versed in, you know. And I understand it. And what I mean by that is like it's very easy for black folks to be specifically preoccupied with our own plight and figuring out our own stuff to where we may not always be as versed on the plights of other folks or whatever. And so sometimes we will say things that even if we mean it, it may not always come from the most informed place. So I think that again, what happened with Nick Cannon is like Nick Cannon is reading and processing and being mentored and learning certain things from certain sources, and he's projecting all of that in real time.
Mm.
And so with him doing that, yeah, you're gonna get moments of like, damn, like did you think that through? You know what I mean? Or and so yeah, when those type of instances come up, you have people having to backtrack and apologize for things that they may not have all the way thought through, even if they meant it.
Get it. Do you agree with Jay-Z working with the NFL?
Nah,
No.
nah. I mean, I what I understand is that you do not become a billionaire in America without compromising some level of integrity
Mm.
or something. You know what I mean? I believe that Jay Z has a heart for for black people.
Mm.
Um,
Why
but
didn't look?
but huh?
Why the inquisitive look when you said that?
So okay, let me say definitively, I do believe that Jay Z has a heart for black
Oh,
people.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll say it definitively.
Uh-huh.
But I know that Jay Z is also quite the capitalist, and so yeah, again, you don't amass $1 billion without thinking about what you may need to compromise if need be. And so like he came out wrong. Like the first thing he was like, yo, so we not kneeling no more. We not with that. Like, bruh, like the things that Cap was kneeling about did not diminish. They didn't go away. So we're not kneeling. Maybe you never were kneeling. You know what I mean? So maybe that's not your lane. But yeah, I mean, Hove is a capitalist, and so there were some gains to be made with partnering with the NFL that further or continue the legacy that he's building for Blue Ivy and Sir and Rumi, and Beyonce or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I don't. I think that he was. I think that he was. I think that he was used, but used in a sense to where he allowed himself to be used. Because what we have to remember is before the partnership, or at least before it was public, he was on the song Ape Shit saying, I don't need I don't need the Super Bowl. NFL needs me, I don't need you.
He did say that.
He said that, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that. But I think that what was going on
Line or something like that. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
I think what was going on at the time was that like he was making as he was rapping those lyrics, he's flying back and forth across the country, meeting with NFL officials,
Mm.
right? And so I think that I think that he could have done everything that he wants to do in the realm of uplifting social justice without partnering with them
Right. Right.
because he has the money and the resources to do so.
Right.
So he didn't need the NFL if that was the purpose. The NFL needed him to do damage control for what they were doing to Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed and to other players.
Mm.
And the damage control just so happened to come with probably a really nice bag. So he was like, oh, well, shit. You know what I mean? I can get paid and also, put my social justice platform under this microscope. Cool. I'm
Mm.
with it. But he didn't need them for that. Not at all.
Mm. What is? Oh, darn it. Okay, I'll let him get off so that way. Cause what's up, 412? What's up?
Hey, what's up, Fred?
What's popping?
And hello to your guest. I missed
Donney,
your
Donney. Look,
conversation.
you see the name on the Donney.
It's all good.
What's up?
Donney, yeah, Donney. Hey, listen, I'm enjoying the conversation, and I like a lot of what you're saying. I think we in the black community, we put way too much stock into these athletes, into these entertainers, and Malcolm X told us for years, you can't rely on an entertainer or an athlete for anything because they get their money, all their money from white, they're compromised.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to think Jay-Z and all these people have our best interests, I mean, for a minute, when it first started, he was telling people don't perform at halftime. Then the NFL comes with a check, and then he's doing the halftime celebrations and getting Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. I mean, so those are the type of sellout techniques that's killing our community. Nick Cannon, you think he's real, and then he turns around, and every time I see him, he got a Jew, and he's just kissing ass the entire interview, apologizing left and right. Listen, we got to get out. I get so sick of seeing so many black men apologize. I follow sports. I'm in the sports scene, and every time you turn around, these are supposed to be strong, masculine men, and every time you see them, they're apologizing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the guests to talk about that. And also, you mentioned you work. Is Sean King, is he black or is he white? Is he a white?
Sean King is biracial.
Okay, all
So
right.
Sean, he has a white mother and a light complected black father. That's the story. That's his public story.
Okay, I mean, just because I saw other stuff. I mean, he's done some good work, but he's also done some questionable work. But um, the fact that he would stick his head out there and lay it on the line. He's getting death threats more than me
Wow.
and more than a lot of people. So I do respect that, but I just, I don't like all these people coming out saying they're black and you find out really they're not black. I mean,
That's real.
you know what I'm saying?
No, that's real. Yeah, I'm I'm going with the narrative that he has presented. And also like the other thing for me, like being a native of Louisiana, South Louisiana, like I grew up seeing black folks Sean King complexion my whole life. Like that legitimately were black, like legitimately were black people. Huh?
That's where the red bones are.
I mean like real spill. Like so
All right, I get it. I'm on the East Coast, so all right, I get it. A whole, the Creole and all that.
yeah, no, it's a thing. Like there are people that you're like, whoa, are you? But they actually are. So
All right. Well, I'm glad you brought that because there was questions I had before, so I'm glad you brought that out, brother. I
yeah,
appreciate it. Now, what's the name of is it? You said the Black Star or the North Star?
the North Star. That's the name of the media company.
We can get that online, or how do we access that?
So you go to thenorthstar.com. We put out daily articles, daily podcasts, a lot of great content that primarily centers around black folks. So the northstar.com, you can see new pieces every day.
Mm.
And I want to say that because a part of the controversy with the North Star early on, and people, were trying to say that Sean was scheming or grifting and whatnot, and that the North Star never actually launched. Like, that's not true. The North Star has been in existence for almost 2 years. And if you go on the northstar.com, I know because I edit the work, like it's there every day. So yeah, check it out whenever you get a chance.
Okay, I definitely appreciate that, and also, somebody in the chat had mentioned, Diddy and different people were trying to start a black party. I think more
Yeah,
that we need to have a black agenda, and we
yeah,
can't have
no, yeah.
these people using it. Do you push a black agenda in North Star, or are you actively trying to develop a black agenda? I know Ice Cube had his thing. Have you all dealt with Ice Cube at all?
We have not. I know that there was some conversation about him potentially coming on. Sean does a weekly show called The Breakdown Live, and there was some conversation about getting Cube to be a guest on that show. So we don't know. We don't know if that'll happen or not, but it's definitely something that's been on the table. So that may take place.
All right, and then the last thing now, well, not the last thing. We'll have one more after this. Did
Uh-huh.
you talk about Cube already, and what were your thoughts? Do you think it was the wrong timing, or how do you think it should have been done? My feeling is, I think a week, 2 weeks before, uh, the decision, the election,
Yeah,
soon. I think now we need to be starting right now. We
yeah.
see
I think that it was definitely. I think that you're right. Yes, though we need to be like talking about what expectations and what agendas we will be pushing right now. With respect to the Ice Cube situation, I definitely see where it looked sketchy that he waited, that late. Um, but I think that I think that there's a lot of nuance to that situation, which in the sense that yes, I do believe that the Trump administration was looking to use him or use his black star power by even sitting down with him. But I think that we also can't ignore the fact that the Democrats did not sit down with him or didn't even take the offer, right? And so, based on what I read about it and what I saw about it, Cube was like, I'm not trying to be partisan in either direction. Here's this agenda that I came up with. I want to talk to both parties on it or whatever. The other layer to that is, you know, who all did Ice Cube consult with when putting together the Black Agenda? Um, who, because when you talk about an agenda and when you talk about like I'm going to do this one thing for Black folks, that is lumping all Black people into one umbrella. And we like to talk about that blackness is not monolithic, meaning that all Blackness is not the same. And so when we talk about putting together agendas and agendas coming by way of celebrities who have millions of dollars and influence and platform, then you have to question, well, what's exactly in your agenda? And how does it benefit me in my everyday life? Or how does it benefit, this other Black person that is nothing like you in any way, shape, or form? So I think that the timing could have been beneficial if it was earlier. Uh, it seems as if he had like good intent, but
right,
the execution may have been a little off.
right, and I think because the execution was off, the Trumps of the world were able to use it to their benefit.
Yeah, no, yeah,
How he
yeah,
portrayed he was actually doing something. One problem I had with his contract with Black America, he had a lot of things about even Native Americans. I
right,
think we gotta as we create a Black agenda, there's no such thing as a Black and Brown coalition. We have no friends. Black people have no friends. Foundational Black people, we have no friends. Until we start getting that mindset and stop this low racial self-esteem where we got to link up with this person or link up with that person, it's not going to work. We're out here on our own, and until we start sticking together and understanding, not only is the white man coming after us, we got Latinos and Mexican, and everybody's trying to get theirs. There is no coalition. As black folks, we need to focus on reparations, foundational black, ADOS, whatever it's called, but that's what we need to focus on. I hope that you are really pushing that on the North Star. I'm going to go check out the web page as soon as I get a chance and definitely support you. But I appreciate the work that you're doing, bruh.
Thank you.
I just want to encourage you to keep it up. We need
Thank
more brothers like you. Oh, last thing.
Yeah.
One conscious athlete I do appreciate, what he's doing for the most part, although sometimes it seems like the Democrats get him in there, is LeBron James. He's a brother who will come out and speak. He will do certain things. If you all had a chance to kind of get him involved or tapped in a little bit?
No. LeBron is like, he's on a whole different plane and platform and orbit, so he's definitely difficult to reach. But I agree with what you're saying, about him. I think that LeBron pushes the envelope as far as he can with the platform with his level. You know what I mean? Like, and this is why people consistently say you can't compare LeBron to Michael Jordan. Like when you're talking basketball specifically, sure. But when you're talking about the overall package of athlete and humanity, this is why people say you can't put them in the same category. But LeBron does the most of what he can do for someone who is damn near a billionaire athlete. So, he's an upstanding family man. Like, he's never found himself in any like wild controversy or whatever, and he advocates on behalf of black people. So, now of course he gets endorsement money and corporate money or whatever, and there are certain things that if he went too far off the ledge, somebody would tap him on the shoulder like, "Yo, you got to dial that back in." But he does, I think, the extent of what he probably can do with the level that he is.
Right. I often hear him say, his hero, one of his heroes, Muhammad Ali. That's the type of legacy he wants to have. But there's only so much further so far he could go because Muhammad Ali was ready to lay it all down. He did lay it all down.
Yeah.
And stood up for black people, lost 3 years of his life in sports. So, there's no other like Muhammad Ali, but he's definitely on the path. And what I like is the fact that he's so active as far as he can be. He even had Michael Jordan finally say something, finally start donating a few dollars here and there. Hopefully these younger athletes coming up can see that you can still speak up for your people and still, do different things. I'm hoping more so they take the idea that Sam Cooke, because he was going to work with Martin Luther King before, he died, and he was just going to fund the civil rights movement.
Right.
So if we can get more athletes and entertainers to fund it, you don't have to be out front. You could be behind and push this thing. I think it'd go a lot further. But definitely appreciate the work you're doing. I'm going to follow you. Fred, once again, you got another classic. Appreciate you, bro.
Right, thank you.
All right, be good.
Do you have an opinion on Floyd Mayweather?
Me?
Yeah.
Overall,
outside of boxing, do you have an opinion on him?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Nah, not really.
What we'll get you out of here in a second. I'll ask you two more questions. We appreciate you coming. First of all, my second to last question. How's the show? How's Patty Dean? How is she?
Patty is great. Shouts out to Patty. For she was persistent and making sure that everything was good with me coming on, and I appreciate her enthusiasm. So thank you, Sister Patty. She good folk. Keep her around.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we definitely appreciate doing the great work. What would Malcolm say if Malcolm X, excuse me?
Yeah.
Looking down at us from 50,000 feet. Is he happy, disappointed, gray area?
Probably. So I think that he would have mixed emotions. So for one, Malcolm told us to beware of the white liberal. Um, and Malcolm talked a lot about not being black folks not being reeled into bipartisan politics. So from that perspective, I think that Malcolm would have some degree of disappointment that we are still again, entrapped in the two-party system, entrapped in the binary. Because like he was like, yo, you shouldn't really be relying on either side to liberate you. Um, I think that he would be inspired by the young folks who are out here advocating, who took up the call of Black Lives Matter and manifested that into like multiple other things. And so, like, Black Lives Matter is the umbrella term, but from Black Lives Matter, you get movements like Hands Up United that came out of Ferguson in the midst of, the uprising behind Michael Brown. And you have a lot of subsequent movements that came out of Black Lives Matter. So I think that Malcolm would be inspired by the mobilizing of the young people and of the younger generation. I think that he also would be disappointed with some positioning that older black folks took after they got beyond the struggle. You know what I mean? So some folks that may have been maybe not in the trenches with him, but some folks that may have had some general or similar ideas that once they got a position, once they got a bag, like abandon, whatever radical principles they have. So yeah, I think that he would just have a mixed degree of emotions, like looking at us right now. Um, but I think generally inspired by the fact that we are back in an era, at least we were throughout the 2010s. We returned to an era of social advocacy because for me, and I'll say this is my kind of synopsis of what I feel like would happen. I was born in 1980. I'm 40 years old, whatever. So anything from that point on, like I'm familiar with because I lived it. And anything before that, I'm familiar with by whatever I learned about it. And so when I think about the 60s and the 70s, I think about, you know, resistance and a rebellion and a revolutionary spirit. When I think about the 80s, I think about the age of upward mobility for Black people, or at least the pursuit of upward mobility. So this is where you get the Cosby era and all this, um, not the Cosby Show, but like what it embodied, like this idea of upward mobility. When you think about the 90s, you think about the expansion of hip hop culture and how that also was another gateway towards upward mobility and everything that came along with that. When you think about the 2000s, kind of a continuation of that trend. But once you get to the 2010s, then I feel like you get a reversal of the 1960s. And what I mean by that is Black folks understood that after living through the 80s and living through the 90s and living through the 2000s, that no matter how much more money that we amass, no matter how much more platforms that we gain, that we were still subject to the violence and the brutality of America as America. And so I think that what Malcolm would be looking at right now with pride is the fact that we woke back up. Because I think that there was a period of time, particularly between the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, where we were just kind of like on autopilot. Like we're getting money, we're getting positions, we're getting whatever. And it's not that these things were not happening to us during that time, but our focus was different. Our focus was on upward mobility. By the time you get to the end of the 2000s, where Sean Bell is killed before his wedding, and where Oscar Grant is killed right before the spark of the new decade, then you get into this new era of things being filmed. And so Black folks are able to look at videos on cell phone cameras and like, oh, shit really ain't sweet. Oh, wait, you know what I mean? Oh, I thought that we solved everything by getting money. I thought that we solved everything by putting a Black man in the presidential office. I thought that we you didn't, right? And so from that realization that we didn't solve everything with upward mobility, you get this resurgence of advocacy and activism in the streets. And I think that's the thing that Malcolm would appreciate that had its resurgence. Um, and it's carried us over into the 2020s. And I think one of my big concerns, Fred, is as bad as Donald Trump had been for this country, I am concerned slightly about us falling asleep at the wheel again because we think that, democratic representation means a lot to a lot of black folks. You know what I mean? And so just the idea that Biden and Harris is there, I'm concerned about some of our people resting on our laurels, like falling asleep at the wheel because, well, at least we got the deranged man out the office. Like, but, as one of your callers pointed out earlier, and as I've been saying, like, I don't really mean much. You know what I mean? We can't afford to go to sleep at the wheel with this new administration. And we can't afford to believe that just because you got one iteration of white supremacist leadership behind you, that means you conquered all. Like, this foundation was this foundation long before Donald Trump ever arrived.
Right.
And it's going to take a hell of a lot more than getting him out of office to dismantle like what this has always been.
Right. Right. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Appreciate
good.
Awesome conversation. I was excited to having this conversation with you.
Thank you. It was a good time. This is way past my bedtime, but it was time well spent. You know what I mean?
Oh, time well spent. And DB finally called in. He closed the show with us. So
okay.
What's up, DB?
Good brother. What's up, Donney?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Y'all must be long lost friends or something.
Man, y'all feel good today, man. I'm glad you're on with us, man. Appreciate you spending some time with us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us, man, and we appreciate you for that.
By the way,
all good.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a descendant of Frederick Douglass, and if you watch the show, you may know his name is Terrence Bailey Sr., and he's a source of information, an OG for us too. And I was telling some of the brothers in the chat earlier that you really remind me of him. You got a lot of characteristics and stuff, but he's a good brother, man. We love him.
Good deal. If he does not, tell him to make sure he checks out the northstar.com, which is completely fashioned behind the original North Star with Frederick Douglass. And if he sees some stuff that's not up to par, tell him to shoot us an email. You know what I mean? So that we make sure that we represent the legacy properly.
Yeah, y'all should have a 6-hour phone conversation.
Maybe not.
No, it's a Reddit joke. It's a Reddit joke. They'll laugh in the chat, but go ahead.
He's not in here with us tonight, but he'll probably be watching the replay, or he'll probably come in a little bit later. But he's gonna love this, man, and I'm pretty sure that he'll reach out to you, or Fred and Patty can exchange.
He'll definitely reach out.
Cool. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
I have a couple of quick questions for you before you get out of here, man. I appreciate the time. Who are some of the potential candidates for maybe 2024 and 2028 that you may see? I guess some of the local levels.
Yeah. Oh, local levels. Okay.
Yeah, outside of Kamala Harris.
As far as for the highest office or what?
Yes, exactly.
I really, I really am kind of inspired by the work that Stacey Abrams did down in Georgia with galvanizing the vote. I believe that, it would be dope if Stacey Abrams was looking to throw her name in the hat. I think that maybe I don't know. I don't know if one of the members of the quote unquote squad would be up for the task at that point. But the older members of the squad, like Rashida Tlaib and Ayanna Pressley or whatever, like they could be of interest. Um, yeah, it's I think what I'm trending toward is this idea that we need and if we learn anything from the time that we're in, depending on the success of this administration and what can get done, is that it's time for America to really, really invest in women of color in leadership, like high level leadership positions. Like Kamala, she said that she don't think that she'll be the last, and like she shouldn't be. And but even beyond just from a representation standpoint, like we need sisters that's gonna get in the office and that's gonna push the envelope, that's gonna push things to another place and really equalize the situation. So um like I said, Stacey Abrams, like she did some empowering work. She shook back from being cheated out of the governor's race and was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure that Georgia goes Democratic or whatever. I'm gonna make sure that I galvanize the vote, and so that's pretty impactful.
Okay, appreciate that. That was I don't know if I could say it was a bold move, but a guy that I really like, Cedric Richmond, and
Yeah,
gets appointed as a senior advisor to Joe Biden. What do you think?
yeah, yeah. Cedric is a solid guy. He's from my home state of Louisiana, and he's proven himself to be a vocal advocate on behalf of Black constituents. And so I look forward to seeing what he will do in this new role. And I look forward to him really planning to hold the Biden administration accountable with respect to like Black people. It's not enough to be like, you all have my back or blah blah blah. Like you need people that's going to Joe Biden needs to be agitated by Black people. And what I mean by that is he needs people in his orbit, in his cabinet or whatever, that's consistently tapping him on the shoulder, like, hey Joe, you remember when you said blah 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 about African American? Like he needs that. And that would be a radical difference for his presidency than probably any others. Because, even when you talk about like a Barack Obama, there was no one consistently tapping him on his shoulder and saying, hey, Barack, what about Black folks? Remember, what about this large voting bloc? What are you doing specifically, with your Black agenda? Um, and so hopefully Cedric Richmond can be one of the people that's like, yeah, Joe, you remember when you told us that if we ain't vote for you, we weren't Black? Well, look, we voted for you and we're Black, so what's up?
That conversation to start in 2023.
Probably. Or maybe never. Who knows?
That nigga racist.
Yeah, we have to have something behind us in order to, in order to have a conversation about something.
I think we'll get it when we get a book.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say something real quick that may be kind of wildly controversial, but I see that's how we rocking. Like we talk about Barack as the first Black president, representation and whatnot, Kenyan father and whatnot, white mother. I'm wondering when America will get to the point where it will elect to the highest office a true descendant of American slavery, like not like a Black person with two black ass parents that whose family originated on this soil through captivity. Like I think that when you talk about Barack and when you talk about Kamala, what that allows you to do, what it allows Americans to do is like, well, we're voting for this American dream of multiculturalism. But guess what? White folks that get to be president, they ain't gotta be white and nothing. They just get to be white. Period. Like there's no mixture. They're just white, right? So when I think about folks in 2024 or 2028 or whatever like that, people of color, particularly black candidates, I'm like, what does it look like to have like a black candidate that is born of two black parents that has ancestry that, you know, were once enslaved people on American soil?
Well, one day we'll see.
So are you sorry, Reggie Owens, are you happy, in the middle, or disappointed with 8 years of Obama?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I think that I wouldn't necessarily say happy. Here's what I'll give that time is I think that for younger people, and by younger people I really mean like kids, like children, it allowed them to see something that looked like a possibility. For those of us who are adults living through that time, we understood it for what it was. You know what I mean? And what we may not have actually gotten out of it. But again, for the purpose of representation, like there probably was a kid, like a black boy in kindergarten at the time, was like, yo, I really couldn't be president. You know what I mean? Just like right now, there are, you know, black girls that are looking at Kamala like, I can be that. Okay. So from that vantage point, sure, representation can be inspiring. But just kind of overall, like what Barack gave us was a lot of black cultural moments, but not a lot of black advancement. You know what I mean? So Barack sang Al Green. You know what I mean? Barack told you to go get your cousin Pookie and them to vote. Barack had swag. Barack had cool. All of that. Barack did not give us a whole lot of advancement. You know what I mean? There were some things that he looked to institute, like the My Brother's Keepers thing, like, you know, the Affordable Care Act was definitely beneficial to a lot of black people, but it also was beneficial to a lot of white folks. So there was nothing that I feel that black folks benefited from specifically during the Obama administration. Like we got it, you know, we got an offshoot of it, or we got it by way of association because everyone got, but not necessarily specifically. So, yeah, I think that, you know, he was from a vibe standpoint, like he was like the cool president. You know what I mean? Like as a vibe, but I mean, hell, what does that really do for my lot in life? You know what I mean? Because you got more swag than George W. Bush. Hell, who don't? You know what I mean? Or because you were cooler than Donald Trump. I mean, who's not? So,
And the same thing I believe you described of President Obama is the same way you can say about Kamala Harris. She's not from like from black slaves in America, right?
Nah, she's half Jamaican.
Jamaican
And South Asian.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, you know, Kamala wears, even though she's not, she definitely I think flies the African American flag, or the kind of cultural flag, a little bit more than Barack did. Because Kamala went to Howard, because Kamala pledged, AKA, you know what I mean? Like her experiences are definitely more aligned with
I get that.
African American experience than Barack's. You know, but yeah, but still from a standpoint of like ethnicity and of identity, she still doesn't like equal what I was talking about earlier. But you know, again, like representation. So you take what you can for the time being, but you push for something stronger than just racial similarity.
DB.
Yep. My last. I hope this may be my last question. Thoughts on Minister Farrakhan?
That's funny. I had that in my notes. I was going to ask.
Yeah. Minister Farrakhan is he's always been a lightning rod and a firebrand, and I believe that there are so many things that he has contributed to, like the pride of Black folks,
Yep.
that may not have been existent, had it not been for him strongly advocating. Now, yeah, there are. Do I agree with absolutely everything that comes out of his mouth? No. You know what I mean? Do I believe that he thoroughly has the best interests of Black folks at heart? For the most part, yes. I was writing about the first Million Man March for the North Star a couple of weeks ago, and as I was writing about it, and I was interviewing some people that went, one of which was my older brother. I really thought about just how impactful that was in 1995 to have gotten 1 million Black men from across the country all together for a Day of Atonement. And like, there's not too many leaders that could have pulled that off, right? And the reason why those brothers showed up like that was out of respect for Minister Farrakhan, and they respected him because they believe that he has, for the most part, the best interests of Black people at heart. So, yeah.
Okay. And what city are you in right now?
I'm in Hyattsville, Maryland, so it's like I guess a suburb of DC, like 6 miles outside of Washington, DC.
You are actually right by the brother Terrence Bailey.
Dude, I was thinking that the whole show too.
Okay. Well, cool.
That's breakfast will turn into lunch, and lunch will turn into dinner. You know what I mean?
During these COVID times, it all blurs together.
We joke with him all the time about that shit.
Yeah.
He's a source of knowledge and information for us, for sure. So last thing I do want to know, what's the best restaurant out there in your city?
I can't call it. I just got here. I've only been living here for a month.
You'll like the Florida Grill Cafe though. You'll like that. Have you been
there? No, I haven't, but I live next door to a place called Carolina Kitchen, which is pretty lit. Like, food there is dope. But I hadn't really explored the lands, and my wife and I recently started buying grocery again since we totally moved in. So right now, the best food is what I don't pay for outside of what I bought at the grocery store.
Right. The Florida Grill, I think it is. Martin Luther King has a booth there where he planned a march on Washington.
Okay.
You check it out. It has that old 1960s feel. You know what I mean? They got the pictures on the wall. Looks like the same countertop and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I go there every time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to remember that to check that out.
Sign there. It's a sign there. I
cool.
sat breakfast one time. Yeah. So.
Very cool.
And I said that was the last, but this is the last.
Jesus Christ, man.
Fred, can I close this the way I have to close it?
Nah, but go ahead.
We always like to finish on, no matter how serious it is, we like to finish the chat on a high note. Is there any joke that sticks out in your mind that's funny to you? It can be corny, it can be racy, it doesn't matter. We just want to hear something.
Not at the moment, and I'm not gonna lie. That's probably because it's 2 a.m. where I'm at. Like, if I was
in a different time
zone, a couple of hours earlier, my mind would probably be racing in that direction. Okay. I mean, I can't really think of a particular joke. I can get back to y'all. Maybe I'll send.
Back next year. Come back next year, man, and we
Yeah.
gonna have another powwow.
I will bring all the jokes. You know what I mean? knock jokes, however you want it. You know what I mean? I'll bring a whole monologue.
Well, thank you, brother. No, we really appreciate it, man. Thanks again.
Thank you for
connecting
coming
with
on.
Sister Patty.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you. Thanks again to Patty Dean. Thank you, Brother Fred.
All the time.
Appreciate the platform, and we'll be in contact.
For sure. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you all the time. And that was fun. So let's pivot, man, because I do want to talk about the Errol Spence thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, PBD. Yo, P, what's up with that? She got a guest that likes to trap. Anyway, I was trying to stay on that song. Anyways.
Yeah.
Wah. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah.
Man, you hyped up right now. Shit, I thought you was falling asleep.
No, I'm reading the chat. When my eyes go low, I'm reading the chat. That's what it looks like, because I see myself on the thing on the screen. It looks like I'm falling asleep, but I'm really looking at the chat. Look at yeah.
So real quick, I just wanted to say this. I saw just a bit of the verses. I didn't watch the whole thing. From what I saw that it was pretty even. I saw that Gucci and Jeezy, it was pretty even to me. I didn't see it swinging one way. Did you see any of it, and what you think?
Yeah, I watched it. I thought Jeezy just annihilated him. I would say it was probably like 14-6.
Damn.
Yeah, he annihilated. But I'm more of a Jeezy guy. You know what I mean? So
you just like stay ready, no matter what. You gonna always swing with Jeezy. Yeah.
Hey.
Jay Dixon said Jeezy. I think Hustler Slim already said Jeezy. Yeah, I think some people. Jeezy just got more fans, I believe, than Gucci.
He won the battle but lost his pride. Nigga said 18-4. It was only 20. Hey, Red, you been fucking up tonight. This nigga said Stacey Abrams. This nigga just been fucking up. 18-4. This nigga called her Stacey Abrams.
I think that's just the autocorrect.
I know. The nigga might as well should have said. Should have just called Martin Luther King Martin Luther. You know what I mean? Oh man. Oh, yeah.
Jeezy got smashed. Yeah, okay.
Jeezy got smashed, really? I thought Jeezy won. You know what I mean? No, they did 24 track. That shit. Okay, they did 24. Okay.
Yeah.
Gucci trash though. Like that nigga weak. Hey, you know what? Honestly, it looked like, dog. I swear before my man. Gucci looked like that nigga that goes to the mall every weekend to go get an outfit to go to the club. That got no game. He thinks if he gets fresh every Saturday night, he'll get a woman. But he got no game. He puts on all the jewelry, all the clothes, and then you got the nigga that got a mouthpiece over there that come in with like his Air Force Ones and a shirt and he getting all the girls. Then they got the bar all by himself, mad, bitter. You know what I mean? 6 women done got him for drinks. You know what I mean? Nigga, hey, I don't know a nigga in 2020 that wears a matching shirt with matching pants with a matching jacket. Who wears beige, the whole outfit? Niggas don't who do that? This nigga think like
right now.
This nigga think like that was like it looked like his Labor Day outfit got dirty. You know what I mean? like instead of taking it to the cleaners, he washed it. You know what I mean? Like that nigga look corny, dog. I mean, beige. What was it? Light brown. I don't know. The nigga just was. Even the shoes, like nigga. I bet I know it was a Gucci belt. It had to be a Gucci belt, right? It can't be no other way around it. But that nigga look corny. That nigga outfit was like his mom took him to motherfucking Kids R Us and shit. You know what I mean? And you know how he got the pants with the shirt. on them little ass hangers and shit, you know, with the suspender hangers and shit. It's like, and she put it up to your neck and shit. And you're like, yeah, let's get that, Gucci. Yeah, let's get that. You know what I mean? That's what they look like. Dog. I ain't lying, man. I think like a Kids R Us out. My outfit costs $10,000. Nigga, who cares? Oh, who cares? Nigga, Gucci, man, still wear loud. Yeah, you do, man. Gucci, man, that's who he is, though, man. You know what I mean? I'm glad he don't have a belly no more, though. Thank God he worked out. He got in shape, though. I can say that about him, man. He took care of his health, man. Went to jail, came back in better shape. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how it all happened, right?
No.
He turned vegan.
He sure did. He sure did.
Yeah.
He sure did.
I'm just saying.
Damn
Yeah,
sure.
but yeah. Anyway, off that weak ass battle, let's get on this boxing talk though.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and talk that EJ shit. Let me hear what you
Yeah,
gotta say.
I thought Errol looked like Marvin Hagler, man. I did. The nigga had abs, man. God damn, like that nigga was abbed up. I was like, this nigga ready. His face was drawn in. You know, he looked like he's taking this real serious, man. He looks like I want to, like many of y'all, I want to see how he responds to catching a Donney punch or getting clipped or something in there, or maybe it don't happen the whole fight. I don't know, but I'm eager. I'm excited. The world has been officially put on calm. I'm excited to root for him December 5th, and he looked amazing. Derek James, I mean, who's better on media day training? Who's better? You know, that there are few better than him. You know that Kevin Cunningham does a good job with the mitts, with Broner and stuff like that, as it pertains to media workouts and stuff. Who else? You know who else does a good job? John Jackson does a good job with Carissa Shields. I've seen that, and I'm sure there's many others, but you know, I'm just a prisoner of the moment right now. And but I think that Errol gonna be just fine.
Oh, John David Jackson. I was thinking of Julian Jackson.
Oh yeah, John David Jackson. Thank you, John David Jackson. John David Jackson. Yeah.
The weirdo. He got his looking like Stoney Jackson and shit, like he's ready for the
nigga. I think I better let it go.
Think I better let it go.
Mm-hmm. Looks like another ponytail.
There go Terrence Bailey Sr. What
Terrence
up,
Bailey, man. I'm about to call it like everybody off my shit. Yeah. Hey, TV, man. We got about 4 jokes and a rewind button for you, man. Just go ahead and hit that rewind button. We got a few of them in there for you, big homie. And man. But Errol, tell me your thoughts. Did you watch it? Did you get to see a piece of it? What'd you do?
Nope, I didn't see it yet.
Okay, well, he basically looks like Marvin Hagler. No lie. No lie. With hair. You know, he looks phenomenal. He looks phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. He's in phenomenal shape. He worked out for about 45 minutes. Yeah, about 45 minutes continuous heavy bag. I didn't watch the whole thing because I thought I saw enough. I saw 5 minutes and I was like, that's enough. He looked great. I'm excited. We're 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I think so. We were talking about this on Reggie's show last night, and I think sometimes people, we were just having the Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence conversation.
Oh my God, man, this nigga Terrence. Someone just sent me something that is just hideous. But if I read y'all this quote, oh my God, someone's just sent it to me on Instagram. Let me find it. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that we were on Reggie's show last night, and we were talking about this, and before people start discrediting a fighter or giving too much credit to one fighter, I always like to know who they have as their pound for pound top 10, and also who guys have as their divisional rankings. You know what I mean? So, like, for example, I would ask Hustler Slim before we even have a conversation, or I would ask Jarvis, I would say, who are your top 7 guys in the welterweight division outside of Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence? Because no matter what, they're going to be 1 and 2, right? So starting from 3 down to 10, like who are your 7 or 8 guys that you would have there? So if a guy says that Mikey Garcia is on their list, if they say that Sean Porter's on their list, if they say that, Danny Garcia's on their list. If Errol Spence beats Danny Garcia, that means he beats 3 guys that's in the top 10, right? He's chasing 2 other guys. Manny ran away from him, and Keith Thurman runs for dear life. That means that he technically beat 3 guys and 2 guys running from him. That means that there's no way you can put Terrence Crawford above Errol Spence Jr. Did you catch that? Well, fuck you. But anyway, so everybody
no, I didn't. I wasn't listening. I was looking for something.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I still want to know from people in the chat though, outside of EJ and outside of Bud, who do you guys have in your top 10 as welterweights, like in order? You know.
Well, maybe we'll do that show when we got 6 hours.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to go through them, man. But I can do this document.
Hey, I want to read you this quote, dog. Hey, this is a direct quote. I watched the interview, dog. I'm sitting there like, man, I'm just going to let the public deal with this shit. I'm done. This is Terrence Crawford yesterday. They did the interview yesterday. Shout out to Ak and Barack, man. They got a good show on what is that? Sirius XM radio in the zone. All right. Terrence Crawford, quote, we may have now this is after Bob Arum has said what he said the past couple of days. We may have a disagreement right now, but we're gonna get it figured out. I can't bash Bob Arum when I know deep down in my heart that Bob really is a good dude and he really did try everything to get these fights I was asking for.
Massa, we's gonna get through this. I love you, boss. I was gonna stay right next to you no matter what happened.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. Oh, this is just I'm done. I mean, like, if a nigga
I love you, Massa. You a good Massa to me. You only lash my back 3 or 4 times. I love you, Massa. I was never gonna leave. Even they give me my papers, I never go up north. I was gonna stay with you, boss. Yeah, that nigga something else, boy. Can't forgive it. Cannot forgive it. That's your boy.
Huh?
That's your boy.
Hey, I'm not raising nobody in my life like that. I don't want nobody in my life like that. Nobody.
Man.
Nobody. I'm keeping it a buck. I don't want nobody in my life like this. Nobody. Fuck that shit. Nobody. I don't want nobody in my life like that. Nobody. Because we can hustle and make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 together. I ain't a man, kill me before, man. I don't want to die, but man, oh God.
Sickening, huh?
Sickening.
Yeah. But you know, I don't even get upset with him anymore because I expect it from him. You know, I watched I swear to God, this is the first time I watched a Tim Bradley interview probably in about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw him on one of these goofy channels doing his interview. And I was gonna send it to you. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was gonna send it to you, but I was like, man, I don't even want to. I don't even want to give it another view.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm.
Yeah, I had to go in my viewed videos and delete it out of there. Hopefully, it didn't count. But I'm like, I don't want to get there's no extra views. And so, but anyway, my point is, when I see Tim Bradley, Andre, Poindexter Ward, or you know, Terrence, Toby, what's his last name? Clarence Thomas, what's his name? Damn it, Crawford. Yeah, when I see something from those 3 dudes, when it's goofy, I don't even get excited about it no more because I expect it from these dudes, you know, and they run in that same circle. Man, I just hope Shakur don't mature to be. I hope he matures and doesn't grow into being like these dudes, man. Phenomenal fighters, man. These dudes great inside the ring, man. But as soon as they come outside the ring, these dudes are just they operate under a different set of rules, man. Yeah. Anyhow, Moving right along. Yeah, it was a good show, Fred. Patty Dean, man. Everybody in the chat, man. Y'all give y'all props and credit and respect to Patty Dean for coming through with another one. As I said before, man, the producers of the year, Patty Dean and Terrence Bailey Sr., man, they brought in, a ton of guests for us and quality people, man, with great talking points and gave us stuff that we can talk about even after they gone. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What y'all got to say about motherfucking dude? I kind of want to open up. You want to stay? You got 30 minutes?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, thank you. Because I want to open up a second phone line, dog. We gonna go to 12. I'm very interested in what y'all niggas got to say about this shit. I'm gonna just put it up on the screen. That's what I'm gonna do. And we just gonna wow. We gonna dog wow. Call me, niggas. Shit. Call me.
Feral Gang said, how can Crawford sleep at night? Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate Donney Rose, man, for coming in, man. I appreciate his brain, man. Y'all got to go to his Instagram. That nigga's a quote king. I don't know, man. I fell into a motherfucking abyss reading all his motherfucking quotes. I just kept going. I probably was in 2017. Like
TBT said, drop the link.
Okay. Oh shit. Nah. TB, go back to work. Go back to work. not you.
You evil friend.
Not TV, dog. Not TV. Well, he'll never know what number he is anyway. So you got it's two in front of you, TB. All right, it's no one in here right now, but it's two in front of you right now. It's two in front of you. Oh man, the second phone line is open, man. Go ahead. I'm real interested, man, because I want to chop this shit up and make some videos. So, and I'm real interested in what y'all got to say about this shit, man. What would Harriet Tubman say to this nigga? Like, shit, what would Drew Titan say to this nigga, man?
So you don't see this bullet coming.
You ready, big homie? You ready, big homie? This nigga flexing on me. Look at this nigga. You all right, big homie? You good? All right, man. All right, man. What's up, man?
Man, look, you an asshole, man.
You're the expert. You're the expert on the antebellum years. So what's up? What you got?
Hey, look, I want to know why I gotta go back and watch. I'm going to do it anyway, but why is it that y'all telling me personally that I have to go back and watch?
Oh, I'm cracking jokes on your ass. I was like, because he moved to Donney moved to the DMV area, and I said, if you want to have a 6-hour phone conversation, yeah, just call Terrence Bailey, and then somebody in the chat says, oh, you should. He should. Oh, he said he should email him, and I said, oh, he will. And it was just funny. It was just funny because it's your personality is so engraved in this show. Like it makes sense to the people that's here every night. You know, it's just basically the same shit, but the guests don't get it. Everybody else get it, and that's all it is, nigga. That's all. But it's all out of love. You know it is. You know. But anyways, it's still funny though. Go back and watch the last. You'll enjoy it. It'll be funny.
Hey, was this the show with the guy from the North Star?
Yes, the North Star. Yeah, I wanted you to beam in because I know you said you gave them permission to use it. And I didn't want to ask them. I had it in my notes the whole time, but I didn't want to ask them that question, knowing I got you.
No.
I got you. If I don't have you, whatever that lady said. Is that Whitney Houston? No, who is that? If I ain't got you, who is that? That's American Idol singer. Who is that? Who is that?
I have no idea. I don't watch that class.
Yeah, that's the not Fantasia, but the one before it. Jennifer Hudson. If I ain't got you, who made that song though? They'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. No, it wasn't me. It was my older cousin, Kenneth Morris. Remember we talked about him? Kenneth Morris. He's the president. He's the president of the family. He's Frederick Douglass's grandson. He's also Booker T. Washington's grandson.
Beyonce, it is. Yeah.
Was it Sean King? Sean King contacted him and asked for permission to restart the North Star paper. and do it online. Then he went and did a bunch of fundraising and all sorts of kind of stuff or whatever. But that whole project, they were very respectful in doing it because they actually came to the family and they actually asked for permission. Whereas you have a lot of individuals, they don't ask nothing. They're like, okay, well, all this is in the public domain. We can do what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? This guy's been dead for over 100 years, so the sunset, you know what I'm saying, the sunset laws apply. We don't have to ask you for nothing. But they came and they asked for actual permission. And my cousin Kenneth B. Morris, which is the link that I'll be dropping in the chat for everybody to go subscribe to the official YouTube, the official Frederick Douglass Family YouTube page. He was the one that actually gave them permission, and I think Kenny's also participating. I don't know. I haven't asked. We haven't had a conversation in a while, but the last I knew, he was actually participating in helping with it. So they went about it the right way, regardless of what you say about Sean King. I mean, he was at least respected.
I just got that one complaint about Kamala Harris. You know, that's about it. You know, I don't know the man, but that's it.
No, I've never reached out to him. I don't talk to him or anything like that. The elders in the family talk to him, and that's enough. I don't need to talk to him. If they talk to him, I don't need to talk to him.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So, salute to the chat. Salute Fred. DB.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going back and watch The Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
All right, man.
You just should have said, I'm going back to watch YouTube or something. I'm back in the chat. Nigga said Vampire Diaries. That sounded like Metro homosexual shit. Like, you know what I mean? You put a man and shit together, that shit. Vampire of, that sounded so emasculated. Vampire of Diaries.
No. Actually, I'm a fan of horror movies. So this is like a vampire series or whatever. So you know what I'm saying? So I just go back and watch
Vampire of Diaries. It's like all the vampires are got rainbow colored shirts on or something.
Well, if it was like that, I wouldn't be doing it because I am not LGB, LMLQ, all that stuff friendly.
So. I know. But who would think of that? Vampire of Dinosaurs. Orange is the New Black. Man, they getting us with titles now too. Vampire of Diaries. That sounds like.
Well, according to Andre Ward, it's more than that. You get people with titles.
Right. Yeah, right.
That dude, man, look, he need to stick. He need to go back fighting because his current job, man, he losing me, man. He losing me bad. He losing me, and I was a big Andre Ward fan. You know what I'm saying? I was, you know, saying that this dude was pound for pound. When you know what I'm saying? When a lot of people that the people that he worked for, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't even give him the credit when he was fighting. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now he's working for. I can't trust nothing this guy say. Nothing at this point. He said, I don't respect that. Well, the more you talk, I'm losing respect for you. The more you don't keep it boxing, you know what I'm saying, as far as calling a fight and keeping your personal feelings out of stuff, I'm losing respect for you. Because what you're talking right now is some coonery and buffoonery. Because the same people that you bashing were the same people that had your back when you were fighting.
Say it again.
The same people you was bashing, that you bashing right now, are the same people that had your back when you was fighting.
Yep, all the YouTube channels.
When somebody says say it again, they don't mean to actually say it again.
No. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again because I probably going to say it again. I probably going to say it again.
Yeah, you tell that.
Just word differently again. So I might as well just go ahead and repeat it. You know what I'm saying? On command.
Silence will kill this nigga faster than a gun.
What happened?
Man, come on, man. I can't say my joke twice, man.
I didn't hear you.
Man, you got to watch the playback, man. Watch the playback.
Hey, look, I hate your ass, man.
I know you do. I love you too, man. I love you, man. I love you too, man.
Nah, man, I love you too, bro. Hey, look, man, I'm out, man. Peace.
I appreciate you, big homie. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Peace, OG.
Hey, you know why I probably like this? Because it's on Friday and shit. I don't know. But man, that nigga, man. Yeah, you say be quiet. Nigga just pass. When you say it again, they don't actually mean say it again. Imagine if a preacher said that. Imagine you said that at a Baptist church. Say it again, Pastor. Fuck, nigga, we done missed the morning football game and the evening football game, nigga. God damn, this nigga said say it again.
Shit. Oh, my cousin D-Man said I'm going to hell.
Oh, my God. That shit was funny. That shit was funny. He said they don't actually mean say it again. Oh, man. Oh, man. What y'all got, man? What's up, man? Who called in, man? Come on. I ain't heard y'all voices tonight because I know y'all didn't want to interrupt this train of thought. Donney was going in, man. Come on, man. Can we hear from phone lines
Come
open?
Come on, Reg. Can we get a little boxing talk real quick?
Yeah, we get a little boxing talk
for your show, bro.
Hey, man. Say, brother. Say, soul brother number one. Oh, God. Hey.
Hold on. Hey, Patty, call in real quick. Patty, call in real quick.
For real. If they revamped Cooley High 2, could Reggie Owens play in that? Don't lie. That nigga say, what's happening, brother? Say it on the left hand side, brother. What's up, man? What's up? That nigga there. What's up, man? What's up, nigga?
What's up, Coach Cheese?
Peace.
What's up, man?
Peace. What up, Fred? What up, DB?
What you got, big homie?
What up, family?
Man, DB, that was me, the first call. I so appreciate that comment. You probably don't see me in the chat. It's like I'm invisible in the chat. I
see it all, man. You know what I mean?
What's your name in the chat, B?
Brandon Washington.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, real name.
I'll give you a wrench Sunday. I just gotta
Cool. As far as Errol, you know I'm down here in Dallas. You know I was all over that. Man, that dude, man, ain't never, and I've been watching Errol since, man, the damn Olympics, man. Errol been bubbling along. I ain't never seen him look that good, and he looked so focused. I said, man, this dude gonna kill Danny Garcia. Like, his arms were so big. I don't mean to be describing a man like this, but we talking about what we saw. So, but man, this dude looks so focused and so keyed in. I think that car wreck showed him who he was and the love that he got around the city, and it showed him his position in boxing. And like Dundee told Sugar Ray in the Duran fight, you blowing a kid. Like, I think he realized where he was, what his stature was, and what he needs to do. And I'm gonna be honest, as far as him hanging out, even though it's COVID, I haven't been hearing about him in any clubs. I haven't been hearing about him out and about. The only place I've been hearing about him being is on his ranch and at the gym.
Nigga own a ranch with some cowboy boots. That's interesting.
That's what we do down here, Fred. That's what we do down here. Man. We wear big ass cowboy hats and shit like that, because that's what we do.
I'm with it. You like it, I love it. Hey, that's it. Hey, I ain't knocking it. They do that shit in Compton.
They do?
Yeah, for real talk, real spill. Actually,
I didn't know that.
Rizza Islam rides
horses.
horses.
Yeah,
that's right.
Have a rodeo.
They have a rodeo every year in Compton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Black
Yeah.
Cowboys. You would see brothers with their boots and their jeans and all of that.
And they ride and they randomly be riding them motherfuckers down Long Beach Boulevard. I've seen it on Long Beach Boulevard.
Yeah,
They
we
used
do
to have
that
a
'cause
mall.
we ride them down.
They used to have a mall.
Like how they have biker clubs, we got like horse clubs.
It's called the Compton Cowboys. That's what it's called. PPD just put it in the chat, and G Brown just reminded us you'll see a nigga on a horse in the middle of the PJs. I ain't lying. It's the weirdest shit. Because I used to go to that. I had a friend named Alton. What was Alton Brown? What was Alton Brown? That was his name, Alton Brown. And I was about to say Sterling. And he was my who?
Alton Brown?
Yeah, you know him?
Yeah, the name sounds familiar.
You and DB
somehow, Fred.
Yeah, big dude, light skinned brother. He lived in Compton. He's not a gang member, nothing like that, or a motherfucking drug dealer. He didn't. I know I'm fucking with you, dude. Man, come on, stop killing my jokes, nigga. God damn, man. Can I slide them in, nigga? God damn, man. Man, I'm feeling good right now. Yeah, he wasn't a drug dealer. He didn't listen to Jeezy or Gucci. He was,
Oh, I saw the verses, man. I don't like the energy that Gucci was putting out at first. Gucci was doing diss songs to his face. I didn't appreciate that, man. That's not the energy that we need to be celebrating as Black people right now, especially. I'm not gonna get too much in on what's going on in Dallas, but Fred, I'm just gonna let the world know it's a fucking war going on down here, like a real war. And it's sad, man. It's sad. What hurts me the most is that we watching other Black people kill each other, and they just doing it with no remorse and no nothing for each other. And it's just breaking my heart to watch us not care about each other, and we just killing each other just because I think we've been trained to, and we don't see God in each other. And that's the disappointing part. But that Boosie thing, that wasn't nothing. I mean, if I told, which I don't get into street stuff and I don't discuss street stuff, but if I told you what was going on behind the scenes, it would blow your mind. But it's just sad that we treating each other like this. And I'm glad that Errol is going to be a bright spot in Dallas on December 5th. And he's going to bring the city out. And it's just going to be a big celebration. So that's the thing I'm looking forward to, because right now they got the FBI down here and they even brought in the state troopers. So it's just a lot going on down here. It's a war going on, and it's just sickening, man.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, thank y'all. DB, I always thank you for every night encouraging, always having something positive to say, even if we have a negative tone sometimes in the show, which is rare. I just appreciate everything y'all do, man, and y'all get me through every single night. Just keep up the good work, man. And I love both of y'all. I ain't never met now one of y'all in my life, but I love both of y'all. And DB, me and you, FOI, baby.
Appreciate
you. You know what it is.
Stay free.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Love you,
you ain't gonna meet me, nigga. Shit. Hey, JJ always gets my jokes, man. JJ got my jokes, man. I said, yeah, he ain't a drug dealer or a gang member. Oh God, that was funny. That was funny, dog. That was funny, man. I don't know. I'm in a jovial mood, man. I don't know why, but yeah, man. So Terrence Bud Crawford, man. Damn. Oh man, that is like the epitome of us, man. I don't even know what words can describe it. What's up, big homie? What's up, man?
What it do, man? What it do, man?
We missed you, man. I missed you, man. How your girlfriend doing? How your girlfriend doing?
It's talking about my girlfriend.
She good? She straight?
Hell yeah, I'm straight, nigga.
No, your girl. How do you know you straight? You ain't had a girl in 4 years. How do you know you gay or straight? If you ain't fucked the girl in 4 years, how you know if you're gay or straight?
In 2 years, and bro, I look at ass every day, man.
Well, a man has an ass. Continue though.
No.
Continue.
I look at women's ass every day, man.
Hey, by the way, did you ever get your money back for that fans only? Did you get your $2 back?
Oh man, that shit over with, bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I ain't even think
Okay.
about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Just asking for a friend. DB. What's up, man? What's up, man? What you got?
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I want to talk about this Errol Spence, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so look, yeah, he looked sharp, man. He did have power, bro. But I ain't gonna lie, like to me, like he did kind of look like a little bit slower. Like I ain't doubting him, bro. I'm definitely not saying like, bro, I wouldn't bet my last like with Errol Spence, bro. You feel me? I watched all his fights since day one. Like to me, but like he did kind of look a little bit slower, like than what he usually do. But that's just me.
Okay, yes, I got to look at it.
Maybe he's sitting down on his punches more.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
TB. I mean, I didn't see it, so you tell me.
No, it's just like.
Tell me what
like,
you saw that alarmed you. Tell us, excuse me.
Okay, so what I saw basically was like, just his speed. Like that was really it. Like all his movement was like slower. Like you feel me? It was powerful and it was sharp, but it was like a lot slower than what all his other fights are. That's just me. But maybe that's just like a little warm, like a little workout and stuff like that. You feel me? But that's just me. It looked a little bit slower than it looked a whole lot slower than like what he usually did.
So do you think that you saw something that may alarm you for the Danny Garcia fight or just in the future? Because Danny's not that mobile.
Right. But I think that's in general. But for the Danny Garcia fight, I mean, I think that could backfire. Like, and I think Danny Garcia could like win that fight that way. Like, if he can upset him, that's the best way. But I think that Errol Spence still gonna win though. But I just think like he just looked a whole lot slower than like what he usually is.
Okay, yeah, I think see the brothers in the chat too. I see D-Man and Mike Weir the Great, Farrell Gang, Be the God. They all said he looked fast or he looked just as fast, and they said that he looked like he was sitting down on his punches, so he thrown with some power. So I don't know, maybe I think sometimes I was telling this chick the other day, and I'll tell you a quick story. I'm gonna make it really fast, but I remember when I was in the 8th or 9th grades, I had I think she was a geometry teacher or whatever. And everybody used to always say, man, I hate this lady. I hate this lady. I hate this teacher. So when I went into the class the following year, when she was my geometry teacher, I went in with the attitude that she was going to be a bitch. And she's actually probably to this day been the best teacher that I ever had in my life. But I went in with that attitude because of what everybody was saying. So I think maybe because he had the accident, we're kind of looking for something to be wrong. So maybe your eyes are kind of fixated to that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe just me. Yeah, but yeah, I'm back in the chat. Appreciate the call.
Tell your girl we said what's up.
All right,
peace.
She got a fat ass, bro.
Don't she? Yeah. See, he said he's looking very intently at EJ.
Yeah. Farrell Gang just said it right. He said investigative eye. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'll look at it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just me. yeah. What's up, Trey? That's my nigga Trey. Yeah, man. Tell you
straight right in the building. What up?
Oh man, that nigga ain't got that nigga ain't. He said 2 years, nigga. Damn, how you do it? I ain't shaking your hand, nigga. I'm giving you an elbow. I'm just keeping it a buck.
Reggie Cheese, call in. Reg, come on, Reggie Cheese. I ain't talked to Reg in a while.
I don't know what the hell TV saw. I thought he looked strong. Now you got me going back to the Mikey Garcia fight and looking at that media workout. You gonna make me do that shit. Damn. Nah, I ain't.
Yeah.
I thought he looked strong. I thought he looked powerful. I thought he looked powerful.
Yeah, everybody else saying it's something different, But listen, I mean, we can't tell. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So we can't tell TB what he saw, but he's the only person that saw it that way.
Yeah, but he did tell me Formella was a good fighter though. So this nigga boxing eye is kind of skewed. You know what I mean?
You said TB's block tonight is kind of skewed?
Yeah, he told me Formella is going to be competitive against Sean Porter. Nigga sent me fights and shit. I'm sitting there watching rounds and shit. I'm like, man, Formella, man, this nigga is supposed to be here to get beat up. TV though, man. TB.
Come on, boxing hands where y'all at. Shit, we got about 13 minutes, man. Y'all jump on the horn. Talk to y'all talk.
Yeah. Niggas don't want to call in. Niggas in bed. Got motherfucking one headphone in and shit. You know what I mean? They already. Hey, for real. Who's in bed right now with a woman with one earpiece in? Who is? Who's doing that shit right now? Who's doing it? I'm curious. Who doing that shit?
Nah, Shorty sitting on the couch.
Shorty sitting on the couch. Shorty, what your name is? What your name is? Niggas, I already know niggas.
Yeah, she got headphones on though. She got a book and the headphones on, so she probably got the volume down, listening to everything that I'm saying and shit, pretending like she reading the book.
You like me? Yeah. Right, Broderick? Yeah, you already know, man. I already know. Or with the kids, the kids may be up. You got a 6-month-old, you know what I mean? Gotta go feed them every 3 hours, so change diapers and shit. Yeah.
Hey, Joe Hill, I was telling Fred that earlier. I only seen a little bit of it. So from what I saw of it, it looked like it was even between Jeezy and Gucci. So I got to go back and finish watching it. I heard a lot of people saying that Jeezy came on stronger, the longer it went on. And I also heard that Gucci got hella like personal and disrespectful towards the end. I don't really know what that meant, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check it out.
Also heard they had an altercation in the back or something like that too.
Oh, okay.
I also heard that they said that what's the guy's name? Gucci disrespected Jeezy. What did he say that was so disrespectful? Hey, what did Gucci say that was so disrespectful to
Jeezy?
Let me get this call. 336. Oh, I missed your 363. I don't know how I missed it. Shit, call back in. What did he say? Old dude punches as loud so fast. What's next for Crawford? Man, ask him. Bob Arum. Oh, he dug up the dead homies. Yeah.
He said what?
Oh shit! No altercations. Gucci talked about Jeezy homie that he killed. Oh damn. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't want to see no shit like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the streets no more for a reason. So you know what I'm saying?
I don't know why I keep on missing the call. The fuck? 336.
Reggie?
I'm a 336. No, 336. Call back in, man. I don't know why I'm missing your call. It don't even ring. It just says go on missed call. Damn. How much time did Gucci get?
I don't even know. 336. Where is that? Is that North Carolina? I know that's in the South somewhere.
I don't know.
Oh, in them Carolinas.
North Carolina. See, it keeps on missing. I don't know why the fuck it keeps on doing that shit. That's the weirdest shit ever. I'm gonna just call you. How about I do that? I'm gonna call you. Do that. 336. Yo, what's up?
What's up? I just called. I'm at work. I'm gonna call right back.
Now we gonna be gone when you call back, nigga.
Well, shit. Well, I just called to say what's up. And goddamn, I think Terrence Crawford's gonna sign back with Bob Arum. What?
Yeah.
How y'all think about that?
Yeah, he gonna re-sign with him. He ain't got no fans as it is. If he does that, man, it's like, god damn.
Yeah, that nigga move crazy. He move weird as hell. He remind me of Sam Jack and goddamn Django. All right, y'all.
Appreciate you. All right. Appreciate you, big homie. Toby Crawford. Damn, that nigga called him Toby Crawford.
Hey, it's funny the dudes in the South there when they use goddamn intimate or something. I'm finna goddamn eat dinner.
Oh God. Who else called? What you calling back in for, Terrence Bay? What you want, nigga? Beam in. Beam in. Beam in, Terrence. Yeah, nigga called him Toby Bitcraw. That's fucked up. Damn, when it rains, it pours.
Philip H said, Bud got haters for real, for real. It ain't haters though.
I don't think it's. Yeah, go ahead.
It ain't haters. It's like, is it a fact that Fred has a bald head? Yes. Right. Is it a fact that this show is called Barbershop Conversations? Yes. Is it a fact that DB has a sexy voice? Yes. Is it a fact that Bud cannot part ways with Bob Arum? Yes. It's just a fact. So it's not hate when you're just stating a fact. And it's not in his best interest. Did Bob Arum say in front of the whole world that he was losing money on Bud and he wasn't in the business of losing money anymore? He said on this show that he wasn't in the business of losing money. And he said not losing money anymore. He repeated it several times. So that's a fact. So all we're doing is just repeating what Bud and what Bob has said. That's it. So it's not hate. We hate the fact that he's allowing himself to be used by, I don't even want to say be used by Bob, because you know what? It's his own fault. He had an opportunity to not get out of this contract, but he had an opportunity to sign a new contract. And there's several promoters. And I think his pride is he's so egotistical and he's got so much pride, and it works in the ring. But when you're not in the ring, sometimes you have to, have a little humility. You know what I mean? And I think his pride he's so prideful. He will allow himself to stay in a fucked up contract than to come over to the PBC or to go to do his own thing. Errol Spence is his own, is his own promoter. Deontay Wilder's his own. I mean, the Charlos, he can do his own thing, right? I think he got T-Bud Promotions, right? Okay, then why do you still need Bob if he treat you like that?
Yeah, you're right. Oh, what's up? Go ahead, TB. What's up? Who won, Gucci or Jeezy?
I actually didn't watch it.
Okay.
So I don't know. But I want to get on the boxing talk part. I went back and watched. I went back and watched the quick replay. You funny.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Bud. I mean, I thought you were talking about Spence. I'm sorry.
No, I went back and watched the quick replay. Man, you funny.
That was funny.
Right? That was funny.
Oh God.
As far as Spence Crawford, Spence Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually try to put pressure on Donney since only one I think I've seen try to put pressure on him was Matisse.
Lamont Peterson did the second half of the fight a little bit, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, and you know what? That fight is up for dispute.
Yeah, because it was even 6-6 or 7-5.
Yeah, that fight's up for for dispute. But Matisse nor Peterson, which Peterson is a hometown guy, are in Errol Spence, and the same way that Brother Nassim said about Andre Ward back in the day before he fought Chad Dawson. He said, "Y'all not seeing everything that this brother's got." And it was like, well, he not showing no power. He was like, well, he ain't had to show it, but that boy can crack. He said, but he's been in fights where he ain't had to show everything.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the situation you got with Errol Spence, because Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia in a way that we never seen before. You know what I'm saying? He boxed from the outside, kept on the end of his punches, and just beat him up. And that was after a weight drain. So now he coming in, being fully, uh, uh, having been dedicated and completely in shape. You know what I'm saying? As he said during the press thing, he said, well, you know what I'm saying, you see me basically said, you see me leaking, so I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not drained. You know what I mean? I got a sweat going on. So I haven't drained my body. And I mean, me personally, I think Mikey Garcia is going to get beat up. Whether he get knocked out or not, that's going. I mean, that's up for the dispute. But I think he's going. But I think he's going to get beat up because
who's going to get beat up?
Garcia.
Oh,
I think he's going to get beat up. If he doesn't, if Errol doesn't get the knockout, Danny's going to he's going to get beat up because Spence has not had to show a lot of his footwork, but he's shown glimpses of the fact that he does have good footwork. You know what I'm saying? That he can turn the fighter. You know what I'm saying? That he can go. You know what I'm saying? He can punch from angles. He can do all that stuff or whatever. But he hasn't fought nobody that made him have to bring it out. Some of these fights, you can't go by the decision. You can't judge get a good opinion of what the fighter can do if the person that's across the ring from him don't bring it out of him. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have to switch the right angles or left angles and get off line all the time because the fighter that you fighting ain't taking advantage of anything, then why are you going to do it? No, you're just going to go in there and you're just going to do the bare minimum or whatever, and you're going to beat them. Some fights you get a person that is not that good, and they don't, and you don't look good against them because you can't show all your tools because you're not fighting somebody that's good enough to bring them out of you. I think that's been the case with Errol Spence. Now you look at the fight, Terrence Crawford's fight with Carol Brook. Look at Terrence Crawford's eye after the fight. I like Terrence Crawford, but look at his eye after the fight. If Carol Brook can do that, can swell up Terrence Crawford. If Carol Brook can swell up Terrence Crawford, then Errol Spence can probably do worse, just to the other eye. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not orthodox fighter, so it'll probably be to the other eye. And I got Spence winning this fight. I got Spence making a statement because Spence is coming in the best shape I ever seen. You know, out of all his fights, this is the best shape I've ever seen him at, and especially now being a seasoned fighter. And I think, well, I ain't got a prediction with him and Crawford, but as far as this fight with Garcia, he gonna mollywop this dude. So
I believe he wants to make a statement, like Trey just put.
Yeah, I think he got it. As long as he keep it. Well, I ain't worried about his mind state because the dude is, you know what I'm saying, his mind's always sharp. But Crawford is so competitive that I think he's even competitive with his negotiations. You know what I'm saying? That machismo just goes a little bit too far sometimes, and I think it's going to actually hurt his career because he just ultimately so competitive. He wanna challenge everybody in every sport and bet money, whether it be basketball, ping pong, whatever it is. And I think he carries that over into the negotiations. Ain't no way in the world I'm going to have a promoter that's going to talk. That's going to tell anybody the amount of money I lost on this guy, I could have built a mansion. Okay, let me out my contract. You just said that. Then let me out. Let me go. Because how many fighters have left Bob Arum and a career blossom after they got rid of Bob Arum?
All of them.
Thank you. So there's something in the water.
I got dark skinned nigga problems.
All right, Fred.
Appreciate you, man. You gonna beam back in or you good? Or,
No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
all right, cool.
All right.
Appreciate you, big homie. H Money, Mr. The Zone. Where you been all week, man?
What's up with it, Fred? Man, I just, we coming off the victory, man. Devin Haney, we had to take take a week off. You know what I mean? It was hard work promoting the fight, but now it's time to turn back up, Fred. I want to break some news for you. Teofimo Lopez out here trying to cherry pick George Kambosos Jr. to avoid Devin Haney. He wants no smoke. Teofimo Lopez and his mark ass daddy some bitches. You know what I mean? They some straight bitches, Fred. They don't want no smoke. You know what I mean? I want to talk to you about the NBA draft that happened last night. What was your thoughts on the NBA draft from last night, Fred?
I haven't watched college basketball in a few years. I don't know who's good. I know LaMelo Ball because he trends a lot.
To the Hornets. LaMelo Ball to the Hornets with Michael Jordan. Let me get your thoughts on that right there.
One is light skin, one is dark skin, one is old, one is young.
Do you like his game though? Is he good? He from Cali.
Yeah. I saw him playing the Drew League. He's talented. He's talented and he's fearless. He's fearless, man. LaMelo is fearless.
Sean Livingston 2.0 before the injury.
Nah, he's better in terms of shooting. Sean Livingston was a baller, though. I think Sean Livingston is a better baller. Was a better baller, I think LaMelo is a better shooter.
Hey, Fred, you see the Warriors? They got James Wiseman out of Memphis, man. My brother coached it. That dude a beast. The next David Robinson. I want you to watch out for this kid, man. My brother coached against him in high school. He was coached by Penny Hardaway out here in East Memphis High. He actually he from Nashville, but he went to high school in Memphis though. So he tough, man. 7'2". The Warriors picked him up with the number 2 pick. I like that pick. And that kid Anthony Edwards, number 1 pick to Minnesota Timberwolves. He seemed like he's good though. Watch out for Anthony Edwards. Don't sleep, man. You know what I mean? And I'm a Dallas Mavericks friend. You know what I mean? I like the Dallas Mavericks. We got this kid named Josh Green out of Arizona. Nice defensive player. Reminds me of a young Doug Christie. You know what I mean? Doug Christie was nice, solid. And then they got this kid named Tyrell Terry. They saying the next Curry. So watch out, man. Watch out for my Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic. He ready to make a statement next year, man. And then Chris Paul got traded to the Suns. They talking about Russell Westbrook. He's about to get traded. I believe James Harden demanded a trade. All type of shit. The Rockets breaking apart. James Harden trying to play with the Brooklyn Nets and shit. You know what I mean? I can't wait for next season though, Fred. I think the NBA gonna be lit next year, man.
Starting in December.
Yup, and Klay Thompson tore his Achilles tendon, by the way.
Damn. I saw Achilles is your heel, right? Not your ACL, right?
Yup, his Achilles like Kobe, torn Achilles, and he already had the tore ACL and shit. So, you know what I mean? I can't wait for the NBA, man. The NBA draft is always a beautiful day, man. NBA draft ain't nothing like it, Fred. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like it.
A lot of hope.
Hell yeah. And then DB on the line, DB, man. AJ McKee out there. Long Beach got it done on Bellator. AJ McKee, watch out for him.
Yeah, first round, man. AJ is a beast. I trained with AJ about 2 or 3 times before, and he's smaller than me, but man, he gave me the work. That dude is, AJ is him and his daddy Antonio. Aaron Pico out of that same gym with them too, and had as a matter of fact, you know who was there at that gym that day? I believe it was damn, I didn't really know him back
closer to the phone. He was there.
Say it again.
Come closer to the phone. He was there. He had 3 takedowns.
What?
Come closer to the phone was there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Y'all niggas crazy as hell. Hey, DB. So, AJ McKee's in the final in the Bellator featherweight tournament. So they talking about AJ McKee versus Pitbull. How you like that fight and who you got?
Oh man, that's tough, man. AJ still he unbeatable right now, but I love the Pitbull brothers, man. I think they beast. They've been training. I mean, it's like you got Jamel and Jamal. When you just got brothers like that, like the Petersons. Like when you got a brother that trained at the highest level with you, it's tough to be beat because you're always able to train all of the time. And they train out of a really good gym in Florida. They was training out of Shooter Box in Brazil. And they monsters, man. That's tough. I mean, I'm gonna go. They always say when you bet, ride with black. So I'm betting on AJ. You know what I'm saying? Plus he the hometown boy too. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pitbull pulled it out though. You know what I'm saying? He's just a wily veteran and champion. So, but yeah, I got AJ.
For sure. Bellator been putting on some great fights. Yo, Fred, you see Canelo back on the zone. The zone wins again, Fred. You know what I mean? Don't go against the zone, Fred. Please stop going against the zone.
I don't know what the fuck going on with the zone. I'm gonna drop a video this weekend on Canelo. I'm gonna make it make sense for y'all. But I got a question for you. I was listening to your channel today, right? And a nigga was like, nigga said, man, H Money gave me a deal I couldn't refuse, so I signed. What the fuck is
that? You funny as hell, Fred.
I cried laughing. Yeah, y'all some funny niggas over there. The nigga took a piss on live. Nigga, I said, I'm getting
Hey, man, I was jugging. I left somebody online. You know what I mean? Fred really tuned in, goddamn. You know what I mean? Hey, Fred, I don't know what. Fred, you a cold motherfucker, man.
Hey, he gave me a deal I couldn't refuse, man. We got some good shit coming to the channel, man. I'm like, nigga, how much he pay you? What he pay you? 3 bags of chips and 2 Skittles and 1 bag of Oreo cookies, nigga? What the hold the milk, nigga? I'm lactose intolerant. What the? You signing it?
Yeah, man, that's my secret weapon right there on the mixed martial arts, Fred. I'm trying to get DB on the platform. Talk some of that mixed martial arts, that UFC. You got a Figueiredo this Saturday, DB, man. That nigga cold, nigga.
He cold too, but he also fighting against another hometown LA Cat. But yeah. I roll with Fredo.
Oh man, this nigga
Fred, you gotta check out this kid this Saturday. Figueiredo, bro, from Brazil. That motherfucker got hands, Fred.
Is it free?
Yeah.
Hey, it's on the stream. It is, nigga. You know where the major streams at.
All right. Yeah, I just need a reminder.
Hey, Fred, this motherfucker got hands, bro. And he kicking this shit, knees, elbows. Dude is a real beast. You know what I mean? So I'm tuned in this Saturday. But yeah, I'm trying to get a DB on a platform one of these days to chop it up with that mixed martial arts, man. Get him in there with my my newest signing. You know what I mean? Trying to see what they talking about, Fred. You know what I mean? You see what he said? I gave him a deal he couldn't refuse, though. You know what I mean? So you already know, man. You got to take care of these up and coming content creators, Fred. You know what I mean? For sure. But it was another thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Hold that thought till Sunday, nigga.
Okay, well, hey, Deontay Wilder, Brian Custer interview was classic. I can't lie. Deontay Wilder with Brian Custer, that was classic, man. Fred, hey, look, man, Deontay Wilder's a great man. He's a great champion in and out the ring. Man, I think it's about time, Deontay Wilder part ways with Shelly Finkel, man. You know what I mean? I think it's about that time, bro. Seriously.
That Brian Custer interview was...
You see him? He was in a Wraith. Wasn't he in the Wraith? He was chilling in the whip and shit.
Yeah, but the questions though, like, damn, B was just, yeah, that was good. That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal work. That was phenomenal work by Brian Custer, for sure.
Man. The man.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, he does a great job, man. I appreciate Brian Custer because every time he do an interview, he gonna ask the real questions. He don't give a fuck. And when he had Tank on his platform, he asked Tank about Devin Haney. He asked Adrian Broner about Devin Haney. So, man, I'm mad I missed him, bro, because you let the people beam in this time. I think it was on like Monday or something like that. when he was on the show. I'm mad I missed him though, but
yeah. Hey, Gucci Man trash, dog.
Man, hell, Gucci Man bodied Jeezy. Cook Jeezy. Hey, look, he beat that nigga every round, nigga. And then he told him how he, you know what I'm saying, how he bodied his homeboy. Like, nigga, he said, and I'm sending, he said, send some more people to me, bro. I'm going to send them back in the box to you. And Jeezy was quiet like a church mouse, bro. You know what I mean? Gucci, real street nigga, man. You know what I mean? Real street nigga. Jeezy got cooked today, bro. Every song, bro. You know what I mean? Track after track. You know what I mean? So, Jeezy, listen. Jeezy ain't gonna lie, bro. He had a spark when he first started. He had a spark when he started, but now he's just garbage. You know what I mean? Jeezy, bro, one album, Fred. You know what I mean? One album for that nigga. This nigga Gucci got over 100 albums. Listen, he got those commercial songs. So when he's playing Soul Survivor and all of that radio ass shit, you know what I mean? Gucci coming through with real street bangers, bro. And Gucci dominated him, bro. You know what I mean? So Jeezy was giving you songs you heard on the radio, but Gucci was giving you songs, you know what I mean? That's niggas bumping in the trap and shit. Niggas in the streets, they bumping Jeezy. So Gucci got cooked, man. You know what I mean? Jeezy got cooked. Appreciate Gucci, man, holding it down. And Fred, appreciate you holding down. Y'all, I see y'all working OT and shit, man. I just had to tap in. So I'll be back Sunday. Back on the regular schedule, man. Appreciate it, Fred.
How Haney's doing? Haney's good?
Haney's good. His birthday just passed, so happy birthday, Devin. He just turned 22. I know Bill out there. I think they grinding and shit, man. They out there working. They traveling and shit. And speedy recovery to Bill Haney's mother, who had COVID. I think she's doing better now, though. She's
okay.
Yeah, I believe she's doing much better now. So she had COVID. I think she's doing better. And a special shout out to Joe Cortez, Hall of Fame referee, Joe Cortez, who also had coronavirus. So, you know what I mean? My condolences goes out to anybody that lost a family member to COVID-19, man. You know what I mean? We got to stay strong. Rest in peace to Mo 3. Shout out to Lil Boosie, man. And Gucci Mane, the GOAT. Over 100 albums. Just body Jeezy. I told you I called in about a week ago. I said, Fred, they got to put Gucci. Fuck T.I. Jeezy versus Gucci. And Gucci gets the W. Gucci comes out on top. You know what I mean? Appreciate it, Fred. Much love to you.
All the time, big homie.
All right.
Yeah, that was
Gucci.
Yeah, that was a Reggie Owen special. That was a Reggie Owen special. Reg.
Yeah, I already know.
Oh God! Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that we good, man? We good.
We good. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, man. If you came in late and you didn't get a chance to get a fade, too damn bad. Don't come banging on the door tomorrow because we close. Spending time with our families tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to come back on the weekend, come back on Sunday, and we get you nice and tight and get you ready for the week.
Yeah.
Until then.
I don't think we got any guests next week because of Thanksgiving, so I think we scheduled them after. So I think
shit, we might pull something out the hat.
Yeah, we might pull something. Yeah, I'm trying to get a big fish right now, so we'll see. I don't know when. You gonna like him, DB too. I don't know if he's gonna come on because he's kind of nervous.
Okay.
PR people called me today.
Well,
if I don't get him, I'll tell y'all. But I want to surprise y'all with the title and shit.
Okay. All right. I'm with it. All right, let's see. Let's get some love to the family in the chat. First and foremost, I think she already gone and rested up. But to the Queen, Patty Dean, thanks again. Producer of the year.
PPD. Yo, Ron, what's up with that?
Yeah.
PPD.
Be the God still in here. Be the God. He said the lights on, but nobody's home. Man. Reggie Owens, he said Wayne Brady. Jarvis Johnson still in here. Hustler Slim in the building. Kyle Davis. Kyle said, nigga still on?
Who said that? Who said that? Oh, God. That nigga fell asleep, got up and took a piss. And like, nigga still on? The fuck?
Man, I'll be doing that with Reggie shows.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm the same way. You think they could be having, but Reg be having 3 niggas up with him though. That's the crazy shit. That nigga D Hodges don't sleep either. That nigga don't sleep.
Yeah, it'd be on everything.
Mhm.
Yeah. J.A. Dixon, absolutely.
Yeah, I go. Yeah, Reggie. Yeah, Reggie. I just got one. H money, man. You know, I'm an honest dude, but that shit was trash, dog. What do you mean that was trash, man? What do you mean that was? Yeah, I had to see the episode, man. That shit was funny, man. Nobody sounds like D. Hodges, man.
Yeah, that's for real. Let's see, Hustler Slim. He said,
Oh, Red's
"What?
going live in
Body
15
Gucci?"
minutes. Red's going live in 15 minutes, man. Oh, my bad. You in the motherfucking chat. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, no, go ahead.
No.
You got something off your chest? You want to get something else off your chest?
No.
All right. Hustler Slim said, "What? Gucci body Jeezy? No." Be the guy said Jeezy body Gucci. My brother Puncho in here. He said, "Hell no." So I think everybody saying Jeezy got it. Eli Zachary says Jeezy got it on some bullshit. Oh, some bullshit. Sorry. Let me see. Joe Hill, he said H Money thinking about the song he played in Reggie Owens' rap battle.
Nigga was literally shadow boxing with gloves on.
Tino Fernandez said H Money tripping. Box fans in the building. Tone Brown, he said, but Gucci Mane was talking that street shit. All right. Well, was it a street shit or a street battle? Or were they talking about some music? Reggie Owens said Gucci gave us songs that we heard while dumping the trash. Okay.
Oh God. That nigga.
Box fan said I intentionally missed that shit. Call me for a real rap battle.
Man,
yeah,
that nigga, yeah, Gucci's that man. That nigga outfit though. That nigga outfit. I'm sitting there like, damn.
Man,
I'm gonna find a Kids R Us outfit online with that nigga. I'll make a meme. That nigga looked like a Kids R Us outfit. Like, looked like the girl that he's with. Put the outfit up and was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. You gonna body that nigga, yeah.
Oh man.
We're babes,
Brown,
nigga.
my brother J8 in the building. What up, J8? Money in the ghetto. He said, what the fuck was you watching? Damn. Let me see. Philip H said, Reggie, you wrong, brother. You wrong. All right. Let's see. Gump 88 in here. Rob G Film still in the building with the hee-hees and ha-has. Reggie Cheese in here. He said to run from smoke. Not Israel in the building still with us. Let's see who else in the shop. One Sports Network, right on, still in the shop with us. Man, we still chopping a few heads right here, giving the last little lineups and shaves. Eli Zachary, I see you in there. Okay, I think we got, okay, Michael James, 616. Michael James, my bro for a long time, man. Just sub to the channel. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's it, man. I think that's it, Fredro. We are, Philip H. Sir Senior. There we go. I see some more heads coming in here. Gonna get on my head. Like, man, can I get some love, brother? Showing up. The Majestic, I see you. Talking to myself. All right. I think that's at the bottom. Terrence Bailey Sr. Yeah, that's it. Big Dog Willie. There you go.
Big Dog Willie. What it do, mate?
Yeah.
We missed the beam in today.
It's a link I just put in at the bottom. Yeah, man. Go
subscribe.
Subscribe.
How many subs you have right now?
Hit the like button. Even if you don't like the video, I don't give a shit. Just hit the like button. You know, and say something to me. Let me know that you in there.
Yeah, Spence.
That's it. Yep. Get my watch time up, like my cousin D-Man Jr. always say. Brother Code 10, he said Spence gonna tear Danny's body up. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Marcellus Thomas in here with us, man. Again. Right on, man. We appreciate everybody for coming through. Take 2 seconds, everybody, or 3 seconds in my case. Trey's up. Hit that like button real quick.
Hey. Ain't no gang banging in the barbershop.
Hit that like button real quick. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Yeah. And share this video with somebody, man. You know. Y'all can chop it up, like Fred say, you know, put it all on your social media platforms, your Facebook, your Instagram, your MySpace, your space, and outer space.
Yeah.
And until then,
that was a good one.
Play the song, Fred!
That was a good one. Yo space, MySpace, outer space. That was good, DB. That was good. That was some radio shit right there. That was good.
True.
The boy good. Oh,
Fernandez, we waiting on you, bro.
damn, this was a 3-hour show. Damn. Oh, man, it was fun though. It was fun. Where Pete Hernandez at? Man, the show was fun. Nothing can shake. What time you open the gym tomorrow?
Oh shit, not.
9? 9.
To give up.
Damn, someone said in my comment section, Groove Retriever said Bud is a talented fighter with a sucker's mentality.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna never be black men will never forgive him for that statement. They may root for him, but they always gonna remember that shit. They always gonna it's just something about it. It's just something about it, man, when you bow to a white man like that. Like, it's something about it, you know what I mean? And then be tough with every black man, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Have that shit. You can have them. Nip say everybody can't go. Man, this it's the moment of truth. Call back Sunday, nigga. Oh man. Call back Sunday, nigga. Rob G.
Rob G, get him.
Hey, yeah, and you guys remind me to ask Bob Aaron. We're gonna call him on the 8th, September 8th. So we're gonna do that. That's his birthday, he said too. So maybe I can get a woman to sing happy birthday to her. That should be funny. I'm gonna say, Bob, you know she thick than a motherfucker, Bob. I gotta get a girl. If y'all know a girl, man, we gonna sing happy birthday to Bob for kicks, man. For kicks. That should be funny. And I want to say, remind me to ask him about this motherfucking quote from Terrence Crawford. I'm very interested because I want to follow up with some motherfucking Stockholm syndrome questions. I am. Fuck it. What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Sing it again, y'all.
No. That was DB. I just commented. Kyle said he just commented. It's all in what you do. Hey, you do. Hey. 48-hour commercial.
You get love, and you get love.
Jay Dixon gets love. Phil H get love. Jarvis, no. DB gets love.
Hey.
Jarvis, no, not Jarvis. Gump gets love. Everybody gets love. Oh man, I see you Sunday, nigga.
Yeah, see you Sunday, man. Catch y'all at Reg.
All right, peace. Oh yeah, we going to Reg in 15 minutes, y'all. 12:30, we going to Reg. I'll holler, y'all. Peace.
All right, peace.
What?